Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us. We're here, we're live, we're pretty loud. It is the Sorare deadline show for the inaugural Champion Challenger, in-season classic, all that good stuff. And we are here a wee bit late, terribly sorry for that. Me and Harry were sitting in the wrong kind of lobby, as it were, and we had to kind of reset and go again. So thanks for your patience, everyone that's joining us, Sorare scouts and managers from all over the world. I am Quinny, of course, and I'm joined as ever by my co-pilot, Harry Trades. Harry, my man, how we doing?
Doing really well, mate. Yeah, doing really well. Honestly, I can't believe how excited I am for game week. I mean, we say every weekend that it's always a big one, right? But this is like the biggest of the big. Yeah, this is. I mean, yeah, it's nothing like we've seen before. Like fact. I mean, I don't know how I don't know how great it'll be after none of us have won anything this weekend. With how competitive everything's going to be, but now, mate, honestly, I'm honestly so excited, unbelievably.
Same. I think it's going to be because I don't know about you, but I've been watching like tons of streams, tons of videos, like all across the place this week because everyone is in the same position. Everyone's in the dark. Everyone has certain access to certain divisions. I think everyone's kind of touched on that to different degrees to some extent as well. So one of the main things that Sorare's always been great for as a player for me is that decision making, that strategy, and it was something I was a bit worried with. And maybe over the fullness of time it might come back around that maybe the model that we've got here of the three regions classic and in season kind of limits your options of where do I play my smasher, because there's less. I might play him in the pro, or I might play him in the region or the all-star or the cap or this or that. Sort of thing. So it feels right now anyway, when I'm listening to people, cards are all over the place. People are playing for no money. People are playing all-star. People are still playing caps. People are, doing everything their own individual way. So I think we'll see tons of great action from all the guys in the live chat telling us exactly what they'll be going for. Fist bumps to everyone on arrival, of course. Thanks to you all for joining us live. Anyone who is watching us after we've been live as well, fist bump to you, you absolute maniac. And we thank you very much for joining us. But yeah, Harry boy, how are you feeling now that you've had your hands on it for a couple of days? You've deleted teams and then deleted teams and then deleted teams. Yeah. And how are you feeling now?
I feel fine, as in like I'm not. It all depends on obviously your players for one, and then two, fixtures for the weekend, right? I don't think I've fallen into an unbelievable game week as far as like what my players present me, and that's just unfortunate that it falls on the first week of all this fun stuff. That's not to say I'm not excited about it. Like I'm buzzing still. I think, yeah, like it's kind of shown me that before I was really settled with my gallery in the sense of like I got in a comfort zone, and I think a lot of people did as well. In general with Sorare, it was play for your caps, and obviously for me it was under 23 base as well. Whereas now it's kind of flipped everything on its head to where there just feels like as far as my gallery goes, despite having say 200 cards or whatever, I still feel like I'm so underprepared as far as like because I've only got one on paper competitive team in each, whether that's champion, challenger, classic or whatever. Like I've not got threes. I know we've mentioned, we've had a big discussion ourselves, off camera and stuff about having three really good contender teams or whatever and all that jazz. And I think that's something to work towards. And it just feels like fun that I can work towards something again. I know that might sound really strange, but like I said, I think I got in a comfort zone, and probably a lot of other people did as well in their own little pockets. And now it's forced us to really just think bigger. And that can't be it can't be a bad thing. Sorry, I don't think so. I'm buzzing for it. It's putting me out of my comfort zone. It's making me and forcing me to really, find what my new little niche is going to be, because I don't think I'm going to be Mr. Midweek anymore with how everything's changing. And so, I am excited for that. Change is tough for all of us, but I do think you either adapt or die, right? And I'm willing to fight. So let's see. Let's bring it on.
That's it, man. And I'm very much the same in some ways, where I thought some areas like, I'm probably quite okay there. In some other areas, maybe not as much. And I think, as I say, getting your hands on it, it's definitely going to be a whole new. I don't feel too surprised by some of it, like with the Celtic stuff. Like, so I've been going out and buying like triplets of cards and doubles of cards. So, like, that's been quite a purpose-built plan of attack, and then when it's open, it's like, well, I've built it to fit this, so it fits, kind of nicely. But definitely the other things that you're thinking, like, okay, well, that'll translate over well enough, and that was enough to get by in this kind of division. So, when we go to put these lineups in, I should feel as confident, but you don't. It's definitely a little bit missing there. Right before we get stuck into everything, Harry's got an amazing little bit of Mr. Midweek to maybe give us as the kind of the final parting of the old divisions that we have in this midweek. But right before we do that, I've had a long-standing giveaway to be doing with the members on the channel. I've got an in-season Yves Bissouma to give away, and I've basically got the retweet loaded up here. So I just want to do this. This is for the members on the channel, and I'll get this shipped over to Scottish Bar Steward during the stream today, so you can have that for this game week. Unfortunately, I don't think he's in the predicted 11, but thanks to all the members that got involved in that giveaway. And I'm basically now in this system, Harry. I don't know what your position is on it, but see, other than limited goalkeepers, I'm not sure I actually need any limiteds, So I think I might give away some more limiteds. We'll see how it goes, basically.
Okay. No, I get that. The only pushback I would have on that is I've seen Sean's been flexing, PSU fans too, for if you don't know his name, Sean. He's been flexing his, I think it's like a champion limited team, and he's got like Dembele Super Rare in there and stuff. He's just taking the piss, I think. But like I think he has Lafont Rare in there, but obviously now we can play down scarcities. I was just thinking then in my head for you and maybe myself, like if we have a leftover rares, if we have a limited, going out and buying limited goalies to play in limited, with rares and supers that we might not use, they might not compete, but at least they're more teams, right? So I'm thinking, maybe we need to stockpile a few limited keepers for the regions and stuff to instead of obviously throwing them into academy as far as teams go, throw them into limited teams.
Yeah, that's definitely something I've been thinking about in the last maybe 36 hours or something, since someone told us that Pranksy was going out buying limited goalkeepers.
No way.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I'm just imagining this, but when I first heard it, certainly anyway, I just got the impression of it's like fancy training, for someone like him.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect to compete there at all, because there's a reason why I'm leaving out the Super Rares and Rares in the first place. So they're not going to be good enough for the hardest competition on the game, are they? So it's like, like you said, it's a glorified training, I think. But I don't think there's any harm in it.
Yeah, so congratulations, Rampant Stoner, and that's his handle on Twitter, on the giveaway. And Harry trades with his Mr. Midweek here, sitting atop of what division? What else could it be?
Well, I mean, I felt like I cheated on Under 23 Rare Plus this midweek, Quinny, because it was the last ever Rare Plus and I didn't play it. I had really late contemplations about buying a goalkeeper, an Under 23 goalkeeper, that is, to play Rare Plus, with obviously 2 supers and whatever. And I opted not to. I went in with 4 supers and no goalkeeper in Under 23 Super Rare. And it looks like, I know I'm projected second, but I think Lavoro Magic, or however you pronounce his name, the Istra keeper, I think he's like out basically, and 2 people in this competition have him. And Cavallina apparently is out as well, but that doesn't really matter. Nobody has him here that matters. So mate, it's a mad one, because last night, well, before the game we closed, I didn't have Sebastian Gonzalez in here. I had the Leicester City Turkish kid. Is it? I don't know what his name is, to be honest. I bought him for is it Akran or Akun? I don't know. Let me have a look. Anyway, I bought him for 60 quid. He's super rare, and I was going to play him. And then 5-10 minutes before the deadline, his name is Akun, or whatever his name is, Yunus Akun, on loan from Galatasaray. Anyway, bought his super to play, for the 4th or the extra position here. 10 minutes before the deadline, LDU have a fixture. And I'm like, where the hell has that come from? And so obviously Gonzalez pops up in the lineup builder. It's a home fixture. It looked like a bit of a smasher potential. He hasn't really started yet this season, so I took a gamble on him, even though the Leicester player was 65% on Sharper. I went with Gonzalez, right? He came on for 10 minutes, Quinny, and got himself 11 minutes, got himself an assist. But if he didn't do that, I needed him to come off the bench and score 3 or 4 AA, right? To just go above the guy who was in second. But the guy who was in second, I know I'm rambling on now, but it was nuts, because the guy in second, Quinny, had it was a clearance off the line given and then got immediately subbed. And it was just at the 63rd minute, And before that happened, I literally only needed Gonzalez to just get off the field. I didn't need any AA or on the field. I just needed just get on the field, give me your 25 points, and I would have been quite cushy. But the guy in second, so it was this guy here, Alan Rodriguez. It was like I just thought it was like, come on, like how unlucky can I get? This guy he's a midfielder. He's managed to get a clearance off the line and then gets immediately subbed. And I just thought, you know what, my luck's just out. Like there's just no way I'm coming back from this. But luckily, obviously, Gonzalez got the assist, and yeah, it looks like I'm going to win it, mate. Which is obviously really, I'm just buzzing with that, knowing that this never probably happens again, basically.
Yeah, well, it's got a whole new format. Good to see Sorare Bear up there in second as well, and then ye old Basilbot up in fourth as well.
Yeah, Sorare Bear had this J League striker score 2 this morning. Well, this afternoon maybe for you guys. So so that kind of pushed him a little bit higher than maybe he would have done. But yeah, the fact that this guy's out, Majik, is basically the only reason I'm going to win effectively, because this guy probably would have won if it weren't for him. So yeah, super lucky. You can't account for those things. Sometimes your luck's in, right? And I'm just buzzing with it.
Nice. Well, congratulations, mate. I look forward to seeing what you crack open. Hopefully it's not, it's going to, it's not going to be covered in stardust, right? But let's hope it's, nothing broken on it.
The thing is, the prize pool is a bit weird. Like there's a few nice cards. Obviously there's a few, a lot of nice cards in there, but you could also get stung as well. So, but we're used to that, aren't we? You've got to limit your expectations and just go in with, an open mind sometimes.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed for you, mate. I look forward to catch that when it rolls in. But yeah, I think we're about that time, Harry Boy. There's a bunch of people joining us here on YouTube, but we're also live on X, Twitter, whatever we're going to call it, Facebook, Twitch. And I think that's probably about it. So no matter where you're joining us from, thanks very much. Please do support the content wherever you are. Hit the like button, share, retweet, all that good stuff, wherever you can, just to let us know that you're having a good time. And any news that does come throughout the football internet sphere, feel free to throw it into the live chat here, because the Deadline Show is all about catching the latest news of who is playing, who's not. And we normally start with the matchups tab as well to see who are going to be the strongest teams. We'll go through the predicted 11s as well. But we've got a few different dynamics to wrestle with. Number one is the matchups tab, I don't think, is regionalised correctly for us anymore.
Oh, it is, baby.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah, I think it happened yesterday. I'm pretty sure it happened yesterday, yeah. I know. I was going to ask you, like, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to do that first and then go Prem under 23s or whatever? Like, how should we do it, do you think?
So we've got a new running order to establish. That's
well, we're going to have to, yeah. I think that makes the most sense, because if players only, if people watching only play champs or only play challenger, it'd just be nice to condense that section of the stream, for them in that sense. So
Sorry, data with the assist. Sorry, data with the assist. How about so I still like the all-star kind of top 10 view that we get here, certainly. So okay. Do we use that to maybe then determine where we go and how we run the who's going to be?
I don't know. I don't think it makes much sense to do all-star way personally. Not to say people don't play all-star. I just think like it's just going to be fun to really scope out, the best matchups within those 3 regions. I don't know. I'm OCD like that. I don't know. That feels like the way to go for me. But like I said, I don't know. Let the chat know maybe. Let the chat decide.
Go by region, and we're getting a little suggestions from Rico Man to go in ascending order, which I don't mind either. I think the main thing is, do we do the individual leagues first or last? Is the main.
Well, there's only one league. Well, it's MLS and Prem, isn't it? Yeah,
it's only MLS and Prem at the moment. So let's just do regions then. Yeah, let's go contenders and just work our way up. That seems fine for now. But yeah, we need to workshop that. We'll get some polls with you guys joining us later, and we'll get closer to that problem. And we'll get you guys running the running order, what we get up to. But yeah, so starting in the new look Contender region, which is still quite globalish feeling, isn't it? But yeah, how does it feel looking at that? Weird, isn't it?
It looks a bit weird, doesn't it? What we got? A mixture of obviously Scottish League, a bit of China's in there, a bit of Mexico, a bit of Norway. That's crazy, isn't it? J League, Russia. It's so like just random, isn't it? It's so random.
So the win percentages do drop off a cliff, like
60th, isn't it? 60%, sorry.
Yeah, like they do. Like
Like
I
last
suppose
down.
it's a lot of home teams as well that probably gain a little bit of that bias in
Yeah.
their win percentage, because that. So it's like there's not that many actual on the face of it anyway. Riker have got the game of the week probably along with Celtic, so that's going to be a good fight, I think. But when I glance over the rest of the teams, like Molde aren't well represented. The Chinese teams have got a couple of cards between them, I'm sure.
The J League fixture is pretty good. The Hiroshima one.
Hmm.
They've been really good so far. But yeah, I agree with you. There's not Oviedo could smash against Villarreal too, I'd say. That's definitely he's got to be in contention. But I agree with you. Yes, like you said, yeah, Rangers on obviously very well carded. I mean, the Chinese league team's probably not. But that's the problem though, Quinny. I don't think Contenders is necessarily going to be about the stacks. It's going to be about those one cards, the smash, I think, in certain game weeks and certain teams. Like, is it Big Garam, I think his name is, who plays in Korea or whatever he plays?
Yeah.
Like, he's got a double game week this week, Like, you don't need the whole fucking team. You need him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dominic Fitz, sorry to bring back a bit of PTSD for you, maybe, because it looks like he's going to smash now for the next couple of weeks with, I think they're in the relegation side of things or whatever, the split, and, it's favorable. Like, I think, I'm not saying stacks won't do well, but I just do really think because there's so many leagues in Contender on right now, because we're in that overlap period where, the summer leagues are playing and the sort of now the leagues in Europe are playing. I think it's just going to be mental, mate. I think it's just going to be, your twos and ones everywhere as far as like mini stacks go. And just, I wouldn't be shocked if a whole team of, 5 random players win or, occupy the top positions this week and maybe forever, I really do think this is the type of, like, I think Contender will, sort of players like that will flourish in Contender, in my opinion.
I'm getting all the Scandinavian backlash here. Bring it on. It's happening. Chinese in the house, my man. Good to see you. CSKA also playing bottom of the table. I can see this region being like, I see Holston Kiel there with Lewis Holtby. There's always a Spanish goalkeeper that's good for an 80, etc., etc. JPH probably scores 100 in his game, I'm sure. So like, I could see this region being quite star-studded in that regard, right, if you know what I mean, like how the teams are. But there's a few things that make me less worried about it, let's just say, or I think like I'm not so sure it will dominate the leaderboards as much as the divisions for the most part, number one, because like some of these cards are, there's not that many of them, and then they're going to be cast across a few divisions. So it's like you're not going to see like maybe Lewis Hope is a bad example, so he's got lots of cards, but somebody like a JPH or somebody that plays for Molde, I don't know whoever their smashers are meant to be. Like they're not going to see top 40 positions. You and Bitgaram's maybe a bit different, but yeah. So it'll be interesting. I think that the top team we've got here, of course, is Celtic. Away to Livy is where it's a great game. And if this was like PSV in a similar situation, or Feyenoord or Ajax, I'd be saying, oh, it's Jesus, they're going to be running all over the shop. But with Celtic, because of the way this season's went, you just can't be that confident, in SO5 terms, So this is the predicted lineup we've got. We've already had training pictures come out this morning. Callum McGregor was not pictured in training at all. He's not been training, so he's out of all equations. Now, I don't know if McBride's updated this. We maybe be able to see since the training photos came out. Yeah, I think he has. So McBride's going to go with Bernardo starting. Bernardo captained Portugal under 21s for 2 matches in the international break there. He got a goal, and I think he's trying to claim an assist in the first one. Which looks okay. Now, the thing is, we've got Nanzo here asking about CCV. He definitely starts, but Naroki's been pictured in training as well, so there's no chance CCV plays any longer than we need him, if you get me. So we've seen him come off at varying times of matches, I'm not saying he will be subbed off at any particular moment, but like we've seen in the last match, as soon as we got to 3-0, we subbed him off. We didn't need him anymore. The result was kind of there, and then we go on to concede a goal later on. And, so on and so forth. So I think he'll definitely start. Scales is in training. He'll play as well. It looks no problem at all. And I think the rest of the team really does pick itself. But for me, I think it's going to be, I think Hatate starts this game in midfield. We did a bounce match. I think it was against St Mirren, people are telling me. And Hatate played in it like a significant amount of minutes. He was pictured in training pre-international break as well. And, I'd say in terms of all accounts of his recovery, it's bang on schedule. So if McGregor isn't training yet, we need Hatate to be derby ready. And if he doesn't start, I think he plays 45 minutes from the bench or something. But I think Hatate is on to have a good game this game week. Maybe it is Bernardo. It's probably the safe play, but for me, I think Hatate is the more effective extra mid there. It is a bit of a long shot, but, so it's like, where do you put in Hatate, if anyone's wondering or asking. But I wouldn't play Bernardo. I would definitely don't play McGregor. And otherwise, that's the team, Harry boy. I think we're going to score 3 goals at least. Kuhn probably shares his 90 minutes with Yang. Kyogo with Ida. So Maeda's probably quite solid for 90 minutes in this one, with Palma being injured. And yeah, that's probably the size of it for me.
Mm-hmm. It's just the clean sheet, like you said, isn't it? That's probably the only worry you've got. Like you said, if it was any other season, you'd probably be quite confident away to Livy as far as clean sheets go. But yeah, for whatever reason this season, yeah, clean sheets just haven't been on the cards, really, have they? If you look at Joe Hart's sort of last 10, 15 games, it's, obviously, yeah, just very limited clean sheets. So hopefully, yeah. I mean, there's no better away fixture than this, is there, on paper? So if it's not going to happen here, it ain't happening anywhere, effectively.
Yeah, for sure. Lots of people joining us. And death taxes and Celtic conceding. I think we'll go to Joe Hart conceding. Hopefully we get a keeper that changes that situation. The second strongest lineup we've got potentially, maybe arguably the strongest lineup you're going to have, because I think the difference between Reika and Rudez have scored, what did you and Laird say on the preview show? 10 goals,
I think.
27 games.
Yeah.
So this is, I know people are saying, Livingston are going to be a Scottish Championship team, but Rudez are a Sunday League Park team. They've scored 0.4 goals a game as a team, not as one striker,
I know.
So that's how they'll line up, Rudez, if anyone dares to have any of their cards.
I know.
And this is the Reika team.
Yeah, I mean, I've fallen nicely into an in-season Riker stack, to be fair, which I will be using. I haven't got a forward for it, but I am really going to, just sort of try out the double defensive stack. Hopefully some big passing game from them, as well as obviously clean sheet. And they've obviously still got to keep that gap as big as possible between Split and Zagreb. So again, like in any game of football, it's still 11v11 most of the time, unless someone gets sent off, and goals do just slip in sometimes. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I really obviously don't want that to happen, but this does look like you said, barring the Livingston fixture, this feels like the anomaly fixture in Contenders this weekend. And can you get 5 cards out that would smash in a way? Probably. It's probably easier to do 3 or 4 maybe. But there's definitely, you can get Piaka. There's loads of forwards there as well to get stuck into. Watch out for the Riker boys this weekend.
Big time. Rudez have conceded 58 goals in 27 games, whereas Riker have scored 53. So this is just 5-0 min.
Could easily be, couldn't it? It really could. I am excited for that one. That's hopefully my money maker. Like you've named some of your teams this weekend, Quinny.
I saw money maker. I like that. I think I said money.
Oh, you called it money team, didn't you? Yeah.
Money maker. I like money maker better. That's definitely way more fun. It gave me a wee Jerry Maguire image in my mind there when you said that, which is quite cool. Team number 3, they do have some cards, so we'll put them on screen, but they're against a team that is fully carded. But we've got Rangers at home, who look to have a full front 3 of cards. 2 midfielders, one midfielder and 2 strikers, along with Raskin in midfield, Suter. These guys have got a fair amount of limiteds, I think, but rares are quite hard to get your hands on, and super rares are almost non-existent. This is a Hibs team. Malolida is on to start along with Joe Newell. Both these guys have been very, very good SO5-wise, along with Eli Yuan in the L5. Adam Lafondra, there's a throwback player, might be starting this game up front.
Wow, Adam Lafondra. Jesus, what a throwback he is.
Yeah, along with Chris Cadden, Marshall Wish.
Reading. They got half a Cardiff team there, forward and goalkeeper. Marshall and Lafondra.
Yeah.
Okay, now throwback and a half, that is. Jesus. Yeah.
So hopefully
bit of
Marshall doesn't concede 3. That's what we hope for.
Hopefully not, mate.
Now we do have China teams, don't we? So we do have predicted lineups for China. So we did anyway. We'll maybe skirt through them and just show them. I don't think we can say much more than what we can see on screen. Yeah, we've got them. So was it Shanghai Port? Yeah.
Shanghai, yeah.
So this is a team, Vargas.
Yeah. That Wu Li scored 3 goals over international break for China. So he's on fire and probably will score a couple this weekend, I'm going to assume. But yeah, I don't really. It's one league. I don't think I've ever owned a player from China, Quinny. I know that's probably quite hard to believe, maybe, but even being on this platform nearly 3.5 years, never ever owned a Chinese league player. I don't think.
I bought one on purpose, and it was Tony Sunjic, who had a Dinamo Moscow card. He was Bosnian. He actually went to China and did half okay. He just didn't play that often. This is the other China game, the one with Felipe or Max HG up front and Letschart in defence here. What a name that is.
In, Max HG's love child, that is, isn't it?
And they're playing against this team, who have these 3 players playing in it.
Cologne is good, yeah, Cologne.
So there you go. There's the China games.
I know McBride has a super ref Felipe, doesn't he? He's on the Felipe train firmly.
But I kind of avoided it until the Romulo thing happened. And then when that happened, it's kind of like, okay, so that is a viable strategy for the right guy. And 2 of my NYC guys have moved to China. Hebert scored a penalty this morning.
No way.
His team is like mincemeat. He's like the star man of it. So he's on pens. He's the main striker and stuff. That could be a wee fun card to think about. And then I've got Thiago Andrade, who's went to the Man City China team. They're called it's this Chengdu team, I think. No, it's not the Chengdu team. They're called Peng City on SofaScore now, but I don't know what they're called on this page. But something slightly different, a bit more Chinese, as it were. But so I'm kind of open to it since Romulo, but before, like, I wasn't too bothered about it, to be honest.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you want to do Club America? I guess they are pretty covered, but
don't have team for it. So I was just checking out.
No way. Yeah,
no. I'm just checking if we've got Mulder.
Laird was telling me about Quinones was a bit dodgy as far as fitness goes. I don't know whether anything's changed. I'm just sort of throwing that out there. Maybe there's an update on that. Mulder, I think that's Motsmala Daly or Daly's team.
Oh, Mats Muller Daly. Yeah, sure.
I think he plays for Mulder.
What team is that Gallica in? Do we have them? We don't have them, do we?
They're Peru. I think we normally have Catalonia. Yeah, they're Ecuador, I believe.
Ecuador.
Maybe not. Are they? Yeah, I think they're Ecuador.
Yeah, they are. I've got them.
Liga
Pro. Oh, we don't have a team for it, but I've clicked on it. Yes, this is a very odd region, you know. Like, once we get, we've looked at some China teams. We've got Celtic and Reika, and then we're struggling to get some
we don't have J-League
South American.
Not fixtures, sorry. We don't have J-League predictions, or maybe we do now, but we didn't earlier. Because Hiroshima are obviously one of the bigger teams. No, we don't.
Maybe we'll come back to them then. So maybe this region's a wee bit spotty then, isn't it? We've got Lask there and hosting Kiel. We should have predictions for them. Real Oviedo, maybe Moscow. I'm not too sure.
I think we should. Yeah, we do have Russian predictions.
We do, yeah. So we've got Spartak Moscow, who. But Sanfrecce have got a great game, by the way, must be said. All of their players are like AA, AAA rated, you know, very, very good form, very, very good fixture. So if we get the lineups for them, we'll come back to them later in the stream, of course. But we've got Moscow at home to Ural, and Moscow at home is normally the good way to start that sentence, you know, no matter who the team is. So it's always a good one. Jesus Medina, funky cold Medina, is back in action. L15 of 38, if you've got him, by the way. He's a bit of old gold, Ugalde and Sobolev up front. I've seen that. Big Sobolev still doing his thing. I don't know if you've seen all that fighting in Russia about 2 weeks ago on the pitch with Spartak Moscow players.
I might have, yeah. I mean, they're always scrapping in there. They always seem to like there's a fight every... I remember the Zenit one a few years ago. Do you remember that? It was like a Zenit against... I think it might have been Spartak. It was just like a fucking 11v11.
Sobolev was leather on a guy like 2 weeks ago.
Was he? He's a big boy as well. Yeah.
He's on. Team spirit will be high, let's say, you know.
Team morale, yeah. 100%.
You know. So Moscow at home to Ural, bring it on. Hosting Kiel in the Bundesliga too. So they're not in any danger of getting promoted, I don't think, but they're a team that are quite SO5 friendly. Is that fair to say, do we think, Harry?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I won this guy on screen there, Timo Becker, I think his name is. I think he's a fullback maybe. I won his limited on the road to glory, and yeah, his scores are ridiculous. You obviously got Holtby in there. That Porath, the right wing back, or Timo Becker's right centre half actually. Rother, there's a few good smashes here to be fair.
Nice.
And
Wiener,
the Rostock aren't good. Little Wiener. They've got Machino as well, hosting Kiel. The J-League lad from Shonen. He hasn't got a picture. I don't know why, but he's got loads of cards. He's done pretty well this season.
Excuse me, sorry.
Wow.
Who's I thinking of there? There's another team that has a player like Holtby in them. Sorry, ignore me.
I don't know. But yeah, Hansa Rostock aren't great at all. They just scraped relegation last year. I don't know where they are this year. Are they safe? Yeah, no, they're not. They're definitely not safe.
Wow, by the way, man. Kaiserslautern, Schalke, Hansa Rostock. That's a big 3 in the bottom 5 for this division. Very, very big. Yeah, maybe it was Nuremberg or something like that, or Hanover. I can't remember. But I was looking at some day the other day and I was thinking, they're not really going to get promoted, and that guy's a smasher. Karlsruhe. It might have been them. Karlsruhe.
Yeah, that would be, what's his name? Who's the Wanizak?
Of course. Yeah.
I think so, anyway. Lask could be a good one. I think we should have predictions for them, and they have a bit of a good amount of SO5 boys. Maybe not up front. Looking at
George Bello in at left mid.
No way, George Bello. He's a Makalele unique card, isn't he? He's had him for ages, or maybe doesn't have him anymore. But he's wow, that's a throwback, isn't it? George Bello. Wow, feels like he's just gone on unsuccessful loan one after the other. I don't know whether he's signed permanently actually with Lask, but Andrade's an absolute beast, by the way. Like, he is the GOAT. I won him as a tier 3 for the Road to Glory, and he's just literally just carried me. Every week he just gets like 100. It's ridiculous.
It's funny, mate, because I've had him on my favourites list forever. I can't remember why. I don't know if he's got really old cards from somewhere. It's because he's a Panama international. He's basically like the Panama Maxime Chanot, if you get me.
Yeah.
So he's always like, I've always had him on my favourites list. So see, whenever I'm on market list and I do the favourites filter, he always comes up all the time. And, he wasn't quite good enough. He was decent in Germany, but when I seen him move to Austria, I was like, wow, man, he might actually be like mad good. And checking his scores now out as you're talking about him. Yeah, man.
He's like walking to 100. Like, it's ridiculous.
67 80. Wow. 50 80.
It's stupid. Like, actually. Like, the most recent scores. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. He got opted down as well, that most recent 83. It was 96, and it got chalked off, as we know, with he plays for Panama obviously as well. I mean, yeah, you'd have Gold Cup and all that jazz, I guess. Yeah, it's not a bad card, I know he's quite expensive now, considering he's obviously smashing. But last few weeks I've seen a lot of people pick him up, to be fair.
I was just checking out there as well. I don't know. I'm pretty sure me and you would have been talking about him, but we all watched the Euros, the youth Euros in the summer there. And this Ukrainian guy really grabbed my eye in that tournament, along with the guy that went to Inter, the German Jan Bissek or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Jan Bissek was a big standout. He was playing in Denmark at the time, and this Taloverov was a big standout. He was on. I can't remember his whole transfer situation, but it's good to see that he's had a solid season as well. It's not been amazing, but. He's a wee guy to watch out for. Ukraine, get caps senior level.
Very impressive. Yeah, no, some very good scores there.
And he's like good IRL. Like, he looks like he doesn't look that elegant of a defender, but don't get me wrong. But he's a guy that is. I can see him. When I seen him there in this back 3 with an L15 or 55, I thought he's probably worth having a look at again. You can just see him like being the fireman type, like maybe getting the last man tackle or recovery runs and that kind of thing. So yeah,
scores are great.
Wee bit of love there for Lask, it turns out. Lubicic in attack, Berisha in midfield, some other names that maybe look familiar. And Austria Klagenfurt are playing a 5-3-2 in this one with Andy Irvine in midfield. This guy's I think if he's the right guy, he was getting Scotland under 21 caps, I think, in the last international window. Yeah. That's who I think it is. So there's him. So I came across him and I was like, how have I never seen this guy's card? He's got cards. It's a wee Scotland guy. It's quite odd. So wee bit of Austria. It feels a wee bit more akin to what we're expecting in this new challenger mode. And no disrespect to the Chinese league and, Russia, whatever. But it's just, sugar. I went to get the standings there and here we've got them. So yeah, because we've got the league split now, like Austria, so this is the regular season, but is it the relegation round? How do we see it filtered out nicely? So we can see, is this it?
Yeah, I think so. That's it, yeah.
Austria Klagenfurt are in 4th position here, 1 point behind Lask. Lask are obviously looking to keep ahead of the other people in this top half of the section. Maybe they catch Graz. It's very unlikely. I don't think it's probably going to happen unless they won every game and all the rest of it. But big one for them to get some distance. And Klagenfurt, I don't think they're, especially when you see Austria Vienna in the bottom half, they probably are one of the teams that are like, oh, cool, we're in the top half, so we're probably just going to take it one game at a time and get a good old fist at it.
Oh, Irving is signed for West Ham, apparently. Interesting.
Who's that, sorry? Irving?
Irving, yeah. Interesting. But yeah, I don't know. There's just loads of random fixtures in this contenders that obviously, will have their odd smasher in there. Leganes at home, Como at home, maybe Monterrey in the Mexican League, Rosenborg. I know they haven't been great. Aberdeen at home to Ross County, Eibar at home. I think Saint Etienne played bottom of the league, Valenciennes. Like, it's just, I don't know. There's just so many things that could go right/wrong, and there's just so many potential really good smashers in these fixtures. Zenit as well, away to Kryla.
They're definitely picking out individual players in this region. I think we could probably go to the next region at this point. I can see how long we're going for. There's not 100%. Much else here.
Challengers.
Let's see what we've got cooking.
So Challengers
looks like
Portugal dominates.
So it looks like Challengers a wee bit.
It does, doesn't it? It looks very challengery. It's the only big thing actually. Well, big thing this weekend, big thing anyway, is obviously the Championship has 2 fixtures this weekend for most teams. Yep. So like your Norwiches have 2 fixtures. There's a couple, well, like Leicester won't because they play right now, as do like Millwall, West Brom and Bristol City. But Leeds with two nice fixtures. Does that matter against maybe Benfica at home to Chavez? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like, that's the unfortunate truth. They play tonight, actually, so there could be a little Friday curse going on. 20 at home to Hercules. Like, there's some really good fixtures here, to be fair. I'm expecting some big points scored. You've obviously got the split in Belgium. And Denmark as well. So, yeah, this is going to be, equally as tough. They're all going to be tough. They really
I was just thinking, seeing Championship next to all these teams, it's a bit of a throwback because that's the way the Challenger region used to be before we had Division 2.
It did,
Championship
didn't it?
was in there.
Yeah, good point. I didn't even recall that, but yeah, it was, wasn't it?
A bit of a throwback. That just kind of dawned on me there as well. Benfica, a game played more and 1 point behind Sporting Lisbon. They're at home to Chavez. They're the top-rated team for this section. And when you see the lineup, you can see why, really. I don't think they could ask for much more at this stage of the season, could they?
Probably not, no. The big thing was Kochu, sorry, Led, to bring it up, but Kochu came out, didn't he, in the press and basically said that I thought I was going to be the main man and I'm not. And now apparently they've integrated him back into the squad, to be fair. Like, he's apologized and stuff, but I don't think that really means he plays for a little bit. And I've seen Besiktas want to buy him now and all that rubbish. So, yeah, it is looking like Florentino Luis season. I've been calling for it for a while. If you've been watching this show, you would know. Last year, Chavez beat Benfica. Interesting. But yeah, there was something going on one there with Di Maria. Did you see that? Like, his family were held. Well, what was it? Like, he had death threats in his hometown of Rosario or something. Like, they were saying, like, if he steps foot in Rosario, he's just dead, basically, or something, which sounded quite scary. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know if he ended. I don't know what went on, but it didn't sound great. So yeah,
hopefully everything's all right with them, and hopefully he's all right. I hate to hear that.
Like, I don't know. I saw it in the paper. It might have been paper talk, but it didn't sound great. And then Sporting away, but does that really matter? I mean, no Goncalves, no Ignacio, which is interesting, and then Dan is still out as well. So whether that matters too much for the Sporting side, I don't think it does. I think they've been fine without them. But yeah, Fair. He's just got Crez, right? He's just got like 1,000 goal contributions in like however many games. That guy's just absolutely smashing, isn't he?
It's incredible how well he's doing. And it's incredible like how well he's doing, like, and how much like all these other teams in England especially are valuing him now as a result, because he was on the cusp of firing Coventry into the Prem, himself.
Yeah, he had a good season, obviously. Yeah. That's why he got his move. But yeah, mate, how any Prem team didn't like sniff around him? Well, they obviously did, but clearly it wasn't good enough for him at the time. Maybe his agent probably went, you know what? We're going to make 10 times the amount of this if you just go away and then come back type of thing, rather than just make the move. Because like nobody really goes from champ to Prem as far as moves, and like you don't spend that much money on players like that. I'm sorry, but you just don't. Nobody does.
Ollie Watkins? Was he a Prem player?
No, Who did he go from? Brentford. No, he went from Brentford, didn't he, to Villa?
Mm-hmm.
He was in the Prem. But like James Ward-Prowse would be the only one I can think of off the top of my head right now. But he's a lot more established than a Guy Carez, right? But you know what I mean?
Course.
Like you wouldn't have paid more than 15 mil for Guy Carez from Coventry. There's no way a Prem team does that. Where now, because he's smashed in Portugal, he's 100 mil. Like
fair.
he just is. It's crazy.
It's funny how Portugal specifically, like if you do amazing for one of those big three teams, like it's
Weird, isn't it?
70 mil plus, like
Easy. The Darwin, yeah. You just 70 mil. Simple as.
Starting bids.
Mad. It is mad, isn't it? It is nuts.
Starting bids are not 70 mil on any of the 20 players, but they are at home to Heracles this week. So I don't know. I was going to say maybe as valuable, but looking at some of the individuals, I'm not sure they've quite got as many SO5 characters here, do they?
Not as many as we'd probably like. I mean, the defensive stacks there, right? The Smile, Proper, Unistal.
Gold.
Yeah, all gold. I mean, the strikers like Van Volswinkel, L15 of 15, I think it is like quite tasty, even though he's at 70% there. Myron Bode is obviously a good young player still. And yeah, his career's gone a bit wayward, I think. But yeah, Dan Roth's like there is players who can smash there, I think, and they're all relatively low L15. So I think 20 of the cap players right now, even though they'll probably smash their faces off, you could easily put any of them into cap because they're all relatively low. But Hercules, honestly, Hornkamp, by the way, he's on fire. And then I don't really know too much around that. Limbombe, who used to play for Genk, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, he's kind of single-handedly keeping them from not being relegated, it feels like. But is that, can you do much a weight of 20? I don't know. Maybe. I think, is it Josh Brennett? He's just gone to jail or something for drink driving or something. So he's been exiled from the 20 squad. Messi out. Yeah, we kind of knew that, didn't we? It was like semi-confirmed.
Heracles, the second worst away team in the division, and 20 the second best home team in the division. So 20 riding high in third. Heracles, like you say, Jez Hornkamp single-handedly trying to keep the ship afloat from relegation. So on paper, I can see why Heracles, look at it as the forwards. They're expecting them to rip, and the defence probably won't have too much to do in terms of concessions and such. So we've seen a comment in the chat earlier talking about the AZ defensive stack. Now they are at home to Vitesse. Now, if you was to say to you AZ at home at Vitesse, you might think, oh, that should be quite a good game. Maybe who might win that? Who are the key players? Who are the stars? But it's not the same Vitesse. And maybe some of you guys maybe just catching up with us today or would be familiar with. Vitesse find themselves second bottom, conceding 53 goals in 26 games, on the same level as Rudez, with 21 goals scored, a wee bit better for them in 26 matches, versus AZ, who are looking to keep away from Ajax, would you believe? So really strong top 4, top 5 in Holland this year. And AZ's team is pretty good. Look at Sugawara back in town as well. He was injured last week, wasn't he?
I think last couple of weeks. I think he was back maybe last week, but the week before it was on Japanese international duty or something. He's looked good straight back into the side. Mynans has looked pretty good as well. His resurgence has been pretty fun. A couple of high 80 scores in his last L5. Pavlidis always is going to score a few goals. Bazua. The interesting thing with Bazua is he's a midfielder card, I think. So if you don't have Sugawara, you're not really defensive stacking, really. Outside of. But I've seen today Matt Ryan is leaving AZ at the end of the season. That news came out. Yeah, I don't know where, but I saw AZ tweeted Danny DeWitt, L15 of 42.
So tell me specifically what was said about Matt Ryan.
I just said
in the contract, or are they selling him?
I don't know. I think he just said he's like leaving the club at the end of the season. I didn't read it. I would have had to have translated it, and I couldn't be bothered. I just saw the quote tweet of someone saying he's leaving at the end of the season.
Interesting. I know a team needs a goalkeeper. I know a team needs a goalkeeper, so.
Yeah, you do.
Pax and Aronson? What? What?
Pax and Brendan are both smashing right now.
He's playing in Vitesse. How did that happen?
I think it happened. When did it happen?
That's hilarious. Pax and Aronson. In a midfield, Marco van Ginkel.
Van
Isn't
Ginkel
that?
has been playing for Vitesse for like 25 years, it feels like. On loan for 15 and then permanent for 10.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's kind of brightened my day up seeing that. Paxton Aronson for Vitesse. Hilarious. But then it's very Dutch, the top. Well, we've had the two Portuguese teams, of course, but a huge Dutch section here with 20 AZ. And then Feyenoord, Feyenoord have probably been the most usual suspect, really, challenger team at the top of the table. But we find them today in this kind of more condensed challenger down in, what's that, 5th or 6th, Farry?
What's that? 1, 2, 5th, yeah. Yeah, 5th. Don't know. Feyenoord have gone off the boil a little bit for me, Quinny. I'm saying that as a Quinton Timber holder with an L5 of 36. I don't know. It's been a bit weird. Like, not just him, but the whole team, really. Like, they had, apart from Gertrude maybe and Weaver, I wouldn't really say there's been that many outstanding SO5 scores, to be honest. They're not, I don't know, they're just not smashing as they kind of were. I don't know if they've just run out of steam or, I don't know, maybe they've just given up in a way because they probably know that they ain't catching PSV. So they're out of the Champions League. Like, what have they really got to play for?
Fair. Yeah. I don't know. I always think like Zuruki's not really played that much, and is he not meant to be a bit more of a creator? Maybe he does a wee bit. I don't know.
He's more defensive, to be fair. It's Timber that's the one that should be creating, but he's fucking not creating anything.
Stengs, but Stengs isn't here.
Yeah, no, Stengs is obviously a big miss, but he was a bit dodgy for a while as well. So I don't know. It's a weird one.
I was just looking at this Utrecht team, right? I was going to make a joke about like Barkas in goals and Sam Lammers in attack because they were both honking at Celtic and Rangers respectively, and they're both pretty good for Utrecht for some mad reason. But also as well, like when I look, I was going to say, Ryan Flamengo, he's featured on some, budget, under 23 videos and stuff like that. But also, like, I was, when this guy made the move, it was a card I watched out for. Some of you guys might know this guy's name, Zidane Iqbal. He's one of these Man United Academy kids that gets like a good compilation when they're 14. And because his name's Zidane Iqbal, everyone thinks he's going to be the next Messi or something, because he's got a cool name. But I don't know if they've signed him or whatever, but he's that guy. Chan Buzdogan is a little under 23 guy that comes up in some searches every once in a while when he hits form as well. And Jens Toornstra is a bit of a veteran in this division. So, like, this Utrecht team's got a spine, let's say. You can definitely say it has a spine of a team here. So, yeah, I suppose Feyenoord.
On the wings as well, that Boussaid, and I own that El Karauni, the left back. I don't think he'll maybe do quite well this game week, but he's able to smash as well on game weeks. Azakran, the right winger as well. He actually used to play for Feyenoord. I think they bought him in the summer. He's like 2'2", but he's a little magician. He's like Santi Cazorla. I swear, he's class though. He's really, really sharp.
Nice.
Now they've got a sneaky team, and when I watched Lammers against PSV, he was fucking unbelievable. He caused Romalo, all sorts of problems. Yeah, Toonstra, ex-club as well. I think he used to play for Feyenoord.
I think he played for them all. I think he played for them all. He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those guys for sure. And then we finish off the Portuguese trifecta. I think maybe he's just doing this in future, Harry. We're probably just better just doing the three Portuguese teams together. Because
probably, yeah.
It's just probably, especially now when this is the region, they're going to be somewhere, aren't they? They're never not going to be in the frame. Which maybe tells you something that we're maybe realising as we kind of look at it, I know Portugal's, it's not like you would expect that league to have buckets of choice, but, it's quite laser focused in terms of where the results lie. But yeah, Porto away.
Yeah, again, this is one of the in-season stacks I've picked up to add to my Costa. So I've got like a Wendell, a Pepe. I traded for a Pepe. I got both Pepes, actually. I got both in-season Pepes, obviously defender and forward. Don't have a mid from Porto. But yeah, regardless, they've really taken a while to get going, Porto, but it feels like right now, like, I know they went out in the Champions League or whatever, but they gave a really good account of themselves. And you can just tell by the L5s there, Quinny, right? Something quite positive's going on over there. Just lots of pace on transition and good wingers, powerful on one side, quick and sort of tricky on the other with Cohen Chao. And I don't know. They got something going on here, Porto. They've really got into a groove. Obviously, probably not going to win the league, of course, but yeah, I don't know. Something's brewing there, I think, if they can keep the team together, which is not an easy ask, but I do think I do think they'll get a good result here, personally.
Got some quotes coming out from some press conferences. So Andy Robertson's not training and he's not playing. Darwin Núñez is full training and fine. Trent, Jota and Alisson not too far away but not in yet. So if that's of any use to anyone right now, there you go. Just try to catch up with anything that might be coming out. Press conferences are just kind of finishing everywhere. There is a chance that Gab, Mag, Saka and Martinelli play. They have trained. Tomorrow we have another session. There's a chance they can be available, Mikel Arteta, on those three. So, yeah, I know we've not really came to that yet, but I was just double-checking Twitter, just seeing if there's any news we want to see. Van de Ven's been cleared as well. He'll be in the team.
Nice.
And Gary O'Neill's talking about the links to Man United, which was quite funny to see. But anyway, I digress. Now, right after this, we've got Almere City, who are ahead of PSV, Braga, Leeds, Norwich, which is just hilarious, isn't it? So Almere, is this I hear Laird talk about this mythical stack that people build on a budget where it's like they're one game week, where you've got your Almere guys and they're playing Volendam, and you're at home. So
I build lineups for somebody that has an Almere City stack, or definitely did, and it felt like they added like a decent run of fixtures for the last couple of months. But this feels the best of them all at home to Volendam. I don't know where the standings. Like, I know Volendam obviously probably bottom of the league, but where are Almere City in comparison to them? Yeah,
12th.
Okay, they're mid-table. Okay, so they're probably safe.
Bang average.
Yeah, but they've got a few decent players. They've got Coop Miner's, I think it's his younger brother, to be fair.
Mini Coop.
Baby Coop. You've got, I can't say I've watched them play, but as far as SO5 scores go, there's a few players that can kind of peak now and again. That Robinette, the forward, but I think he's like a mid card, and there's a few funky situations. But for cat mode and stuff, they've been, I think, relatively successful on certain game weeks, and this looks like could be the Almere City's weekend.
Yeah, if there's a time to play them, maybe they are cap specialists in that game week like this, because again, like we've not even really spoke about game week strategy yet or decision making, because that's going to be a huge factor of this, as well as once we've worked out who's got actually a team to be worried about and who's the teams to consider as opposition. This is the NEC team who are not favoured to do well at home to PSV, but similar to Utrecht, this team has a lot of cool guys in it. Lasse Schoen, Philippe Sandler, Jasper Killison. There's a few guys that aren't in this lineup that, maybe that Borges guy, maybe they're injured or something like that. I know this Hansen. You had one of him, maybe, did you? Or
yeah, I still got his card. Yeah,
you do.
He's decent, XIX player. But yeah, it's PSV. Yeah, it'll be tough to kind of overturn this PSV side, I think, despite being away from home. Yeah, Teze. Teze's finally come good for me, which is really nice because I've persevered with him. I obviously traded, well, not obviously, but I traded one of my Balde Super Rare away for him, and that's kind of turned out well, but it's taken a long time to get going. Bakayoko might be potentially back as far as SO5 scores go, and Veerman's back as well. Shock.
Championship lineups are out as well for the 3 o'clocks.
4 minutes. We get them in 4 minutes, so that'll be quite fun.
I think Dest and Veerman both fit and available, complement each other really well. This could be it's good under 23 play. It's a good challenger play. In season, probably a bit boss. You would think, as a duet.
Yeah, 100%. Boskagli as well. It's I'd be shocked
100%.
if we don't see PSV players at the top. I really would.
Yeah, and then do we get Braga lineups? I don't think we do. Let me double check.
I think we do.
No, we don't. We don't get Braga lineups. That's sad. I've got Jan Moutinho. He's been playing recently, and I hope he plays again.
Doing well, hasn't he?
Just guessing, going week to week guessing. But he's just signed a new contract, by the way, so he'll be playing next year for Braga, confirmed, which is fun.
Yeah, so it's fun.
We've got Leeds. We don't need to see a predicted team shortly. So do we even bother looking at it now, or do we just wait until the team comes out?
No. I would just wait. I would wait, to be fair.
Or is it Leeds? Is Leeds one of the teams that we get the lineups for? Actually, no. Leeds are tonight.
Everyone. Oh, is it? No way.
Leeds play at 8 o'clock. I've just checked there.
Okay.
So we won't actually get a Leeds confirmed team. They're on television tonight. And the Leeds team is it? I'm going off this here at the side. Friday, 8 o'clock, whereas everything else is like 3, isn't it? So this is the Watford team. Dennis back in attack. Ishmael Akone, Chakvetadze, Ryan Porteous, some familiar names and faces there. Backman still in. I thought he was maybe a wee bit threat of him losing his job. And then we've got Leeds looking kind of as strong as they get, really, isn't it? In terms of that attacking.
Yeah, the
section.
only sort of toying cost maybe is that Dan James and Willie Monto, potentially. But Dan James missing that penalty for Wales, his confidence is probably not very high right now. So, but yeah, everything else is pretty standard, I would say. Yeah, maybe the left back's a bit of a toying cost as well. I can't say it. Coin toss. Sorry, lads.
Glad it's just not me that happens to.
I hate that. I'm not good for that at all. But yeah, I mean, double fixture. The second fixture is home to Hull, so you'd probably argue that one's a bit better than away to Watford. But two massive games for Leeds, and I'm just looking here. They're the only team that has a win probability above 60% in both, if that makes sense. If we're looking at the lineup tab, the matchup tab, sorry. So yeah, that could be, Leeds stacks double game week is probably the win this weekend.
And then Southampton have got a really funny badge there where I thought they were a Brazilian team.
Yeah, it's all a bit weird. So does that mean we don't have Southampton? Obviously we don't have Southampton license, but then why do we have Leeds badge? And it's a bit weird.
Somebody's dropped the ball at Sorare data, I think. We're doing so well. We're doing so well. But yeah, we've got Southampton, so we'll get their team up and going as well. We are at basically 2:00. So I think we'll kind of round out this section. Then we've got champions, which will be good fun. And then we can get into lineups and all the rest of it as we get to the deadline. So we do have teams to crunch for us all.
We actually have Southampton lineups in 1 minute, Quinny, if you wanted to wait.
Oh, really? This is 5:30.
Is that? Oh, they play away today, did they? Yeah.
Oh, no, that's the 1st of April.
Yeah, they play at home today against Middlesbrough in literally an hour.
Oh, yes, they do. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one there. Awesome. Okay, we'll just wait for that. So can we wait for that by looking at Ajax or Coventry? Let's look at Coventry. Oh, no, will we get their team as well when it comes out? Coventry. Yes, we will. We'll get Coventry's team as well. So we'll look at Ajax, and then maybe we'll get some live championship lineups, which will be fun. And then we'll go into champion.
Just got the Southampton team. Led Sulemana is starting. Get him in a lineup ASAP.
Oh, Laird.
Get him in a lineup.
I can just see the sheets of paper flying everywhere right now.
I need to get in a lineup as well. Whew, let me get my little Sule in somewhere.
Here's the Ajax team. It looks like Götze will be starting up front with Bergwijn. Van de Boomen, by the way. I heard someone saying in a lineup builder somewhere that they weren't confident he would play. It looks like he will be. And a back five for Ajax, which is something I can't say is familiar. But there you go.
Yeah, Ajax might be on a bit of a decent spell, but a couple of 50-50s there, which I wouldn't really want to be getting stuck into, to be honest.
Yeah. Fair. And we've got Mansverk coming into the team as well. It's another new name coming into the old Ajax fold. But yeah. Ajax. And then we've got Leicester where we get their lineups too. Let's see if they've all loaded up on... Where's a good place to check them? I would just go to Flash Scores, but so there's a lot of pop-out windows.
Yeah, it might be a little bit... It might not pop up straight away. It might do, but I just went on Twitter.
Is that Leicester Bristol? No, it's Leicester Norwich. Leicester Bristol's on there now.
Yeah.
That's the last game week. Same as... yeah. So, can we maybe check their Twitter? Is that a good way of doing it? So, who are we looking for? Sunderland? No, Southampton.
Southampton, yeah.
Southampton. That's the Middlesbrough team. We don't care about that. Boom. So, this is the Southampton team. Bazunu, Bree, Stevens, THB, KWP, Downs, Smallbone, Stubomb, Stuart Armstrong, Kalamadine, Sulemana, Adams, and Adam, the number 2 Armstrong. Brooks, your man's on the bench with Doze and Aribo.
Yeah.
And Bednarek, Rothwell. That's a strong enough Southampton team. The Middlesbrough team, if you do want to see, looks like that. Don't think we know any of those guys, do we? So
is Greenwood? Oh, Greenwood starting. Ooh.
Do you know him?
Ooh, yeah, I have his super. Yeah, Sam Greenwood.
Cool. Harry boy.
He hasn't really been playing, you know.
And we get Coventry next.
Can't really fit him in anywhere, to be honest.
Sheaf is in and captain. I know we're doing that on a lineup builder at my place the other night, but we've got Collins, Van Uwijk, Latiberude or something, Thomas, Kitching, Bidwell, Sheaf, Eccles, Palmer, Sims, and Wright. On the bench, anyone that takes our eye: De Silva, Binks, Wilson, Tavares. And who's the other championship one where we're waiting on a team coming out for? We have Coventry, we've did Southampton, Leeds. Was Leeds one of them? No. We did Leeds. Who was the other one?
Yeah, I think we did Leeds.
Leicester? No, it's not Leicester. Is there another one for us to check?
I don't think so. Of any importance, anyway.
Swansea, Sheffield. Yeah, I'm just looking at the 3 o'clocks. Yeah, I think that's about all. Awesome.
Got a few.
No American teams yet.
Oh, we could do MLS. Do you want to do MLS on its own, if that makes sense?
Let's have a look at MLS. Let's see what's tasty in MLS, and then we'll go to the champs.
So you got Atlanta at home to Chicago, best fixture. But look at that, nobody above a 56 win percentage, which is just nuts. That just epitomizes MLS for you, doesn't it? Most of the time. It's
so let's look at Atlanta, and then I like Galaxy Seattle because it's a big game. And then is there another one is there a lineup that's maybe, will we check for that news or something? But if there's not that many smasher games here, is there? No really, Messi, of course, at Miami. Can maybe check Miami out, see how they're lining up. But where is Atlanta? There we go. Atlanta, that's the best game. So looks like the goalkeeper, 61. So he's expected to get a clean sheet in this for sure. So I've just jinxed the crap out of that for you. You're welcome. And midfield and attack look to be scoring well in this one for Atlanta United. The 5 stripes, the 3 stripes, I forget what it is. I'm sure it's 5. At home to Chicago Fire. And this is the team. Almada's in town. Giacomakis is leading the firing line. Brooks Lennon, this could be a great game for a card like that.
Yeah.
And like we say, Guzan on for that high score. A few other players and characters here. Chicago Fire with Hugo Kuipers, Xherdan Shaqiri, Brian Gutierrez, and Kellen Acosta. Handy players.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Brady holders not expecting clean sheets this game week, and rightfully so. I don't think there's going to be much this defence will do to change that.
Probably not.
Almada and Gigi, fingers crossed. Big game week for them. I think Brooks Lennon could be a great defender pick as well. L15 to 58 is probably not cap friendly.
Yeah, maybe not.
And then we've got Galaxy at home to the Seattle Sounders. And Galaxy have been, they've been getting fans this year. When I was last getting into MLS, I ended up really liking the Galaxy squad, buying a bunch of the cards. No one really understood why, and then it turned out they didn't win cards, and that was why, sort of thing. But all of a sudden, they're starting to really round out as a full team here, and I hear about all sorts of people picking up lots of different players from this team. Ricky Puig, of course, Paintsil, whatever we're calling him. Chess Master Jovic, everyone's loving a bit of that, and Mickey Yaman running the defence there with Yoshida. So it's a fun team, isn't it? And they're at home.
Yeah, I've watched a few of their games so far. And they are leaking goals, but they're scoring goals as well. They probably have the best attack, I would say, in the league by a bit of a margin right now. In that sort of front 4. Yeah, but defensively they have conceded goals as well. So if they can stop that and continue to score the goals, then they are one of the the better teams in this league by a mile, I would say.
Raul Rui Diaz and Albert Rusnak and Jordan Morris will not be scared at the sight of John McCarthy in between the sticks. No two ways about it. So yeah, don't see clean sheets happening in this one. Nice midfield, by the way. Obed Vargas and Josh Atencio, 2 homegrown players, both under the age of 20. I might say maybe Atencio's maybe 20 at a push or so. Yeah, but 2 very, very young guys. So big game for them to see what they're made of. Yaimar's in town. Alex Roldan and Tolo on the wings as well, with Fry in the net. Jackson Reagan filling in defence here. Arriaga still not back in the scene. So yeah, this could be a good one. And this is a good MLS fight, because again, MLS, like we said there, there's no dominant team that's going to go out with high win percentages every week. You're kind of after the big players being needed to be big players. It's kind of what you need, and then like I say, you're probably not stacking full teams. You're maybe taking attacking pairs, defensive stacks, and whatever the combos are. And it's just, can they express that on the match for you? And we look at Miami. Any other suggestions, Harry?
I don't know. It's a weird one. Like Cincy are away to Charlotte, which I think's obviously not great because they're away, but obviously one of the better teams. Columbus Crew away to Nashville. I think that one's being slept on a little bit. Nashville tatters right now. Don't know. Insigne out for Toronto. They look a bit depleted maybe now without him. Yeah, I'd say definitely have a look at the Crew probably. Not that we don't know their team, but
the Crew, sure.
Just because, I don't know. Just Mukhtar hasn't been on it really so far. Willis got red carded last game, so Big Elliott in goal. Yeah, Morris back from international duty. And of course the goalkeeper as well, Schulte.
Vancouver at home. I know a lot of people like to see that.
Yeah.
There's a team for you.
Portland are looking tasty though. Yeah, Portland have got something going on with Anthony, Moreno, Evander. They've definitely got something going on here.
Yeah, Kripal goals is a good addition as well.
Yeah.
Eric Williamson finally fit and available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird team, but I don't know that Portland game. Like I can't really call it.
Abada is in the frame.
I've heard this. Some nice rumors he might start. I've seen.
Abada arrived on Thursday and is available for selection. Capetti was in full training and will also be available. Same for Branico, while Arfield was ruled out. So yeah, be an interesting one. L15 30. Abada's maybe a great 220 shout. Even from the bench, he's a decisive merchant. Cincinnati, how are they looking? Oh, we better fix that little glitch. Oh, wrong button I pressed. Don't do this to me. Play sharper. Was there another team there that looked extra good?
Not really, mate, to be fair, no. I mean...
Bupenza, Baird, Acosta, Miazka, Miles Robinson's back, Yedlin's there, Salernitano. Yeah. Definitely a decent Cincinnati team for sure. It's just what pieces will go off if you're stacking these cards is probably the main one. And as I scan over MLS, there's not another fixture that really jumps out to me. We've had a look at Inter in New York. If you did miss it, I didn't really verbalise it, but we had it on screen. If you want to scroll back a wee minute, you'll find it. And we also have maybe Orlando, New York. I'm just trying to think of teams that I know people hold a lot of cards for. Galesi's back. Muriel's in from the start. Did he play last week as well? I think he was on to debut, wasn't he? Forsberg is 50-50 for this.
Yeah, hamstring injury. Oh, I don't know whether they're masking that with with all the news that's come out with him and his misses and stuff. I don't know, but something dodgy's going on there.
I seen somebody asking for Houston, but yeah, I seen that. Houston probably do have the best game on paper at home to San Jose Earthquakes.
Probably, yeah. Especially with I watched this Houston game last week. It was the worst game of football I've ever seen in my whole entire life. They were away to Colorado and beat them 96th minute. It was mental. The game was honestly shocking. And I don't know, Houston are at home this week, so maybe they're a little bit better. But mate, that Ibrahim, I've never seen a winger like not want to take. Well, I say never, but like he was rapid, right? But he just never wanted to take on his right back. Like he would always just stop. It was strange. It was like Doku, but like at least Doku like follows through. If that makes sense. Like this, he beats his man type of thing. And that's kind of the whole point of being a winger. And it was the most frustrating watch I've ever seen in my life. It was weird. Really, really strange game.
See, I always thought Houston were that bad, right? And then when they got Hector Herrera, everything turned around and you think, oh, wow, that's amazing. But Houston, for me, have always been one of the terrible teams in MLS, So when you say that, I'm like, yeah, they've probably still got a bit of that in their squad, when they've not got that top shelf talent.
Oh, man, they're missing him big time.
So let's check out Champion. What's going on in Champ this weekend? Because we've got Premier League
games.
It's a special, but we've got some big stuff elsewhere for sure. Wow, Tottenham top.
Yeah, Tottenham top at home to Luton, Leverkusen at home to Hoffenheim, Inter at home as well. Like there's a few big clean sheetable fixtures here for the goalies of the top sort of 4 or 5 teams, I would say. Chelsea at home to Burnley as well. Big one in the Premier League side of things. Liverpool, Brighton could have goals in it. Leipzig at home to Mainz. And obviously the Classica. Real Madrid at home. Like, there's just so many good teams at home this week. It's terrifying.
A long list of home teams there as well. Some of them not that easy, but most of them probably will be, for sure. But Tottenham is what I'm kind of thinking about when I say that, because I get their favourites for this, and they should have a handsome win here. But like we've seen, Luton, like they are the banana skin that's going around at the moment, So, but the Tottenham team here, wow, Werner's in. Oh, by the way, deadline drama for me. Timo's in. If Timo's in,
big Timo.
No Kulu. Wonder why we've changed that last minute.
No, so no, that's been that way for the last couple of days.
Oh, I don't think so, by the way.
I promise you it has.
Oh, maybe yesterday at 5. Yeah, okay.
Well, Kulu doesn't play left wing, so it wouldn't be that. It's Brennan or Kulu on the right wing.
100%. Yeah, so there we go. Bentancur to start over Basuma, or Basuma's maybe not available for this. 40%. Everyone else. Van de Ven is trained, so Van de Ven probably does start over Dragusin in reality. So if you have Van de Ven's, it's maybe worth double checking the quotes on Twitter. I've just had a notification from SofaScore that Sead Haksabanovic is starting for Stoke. So if you have a Haksabanovic card, it's a good time to be alive if you need them.
That's funny.
And this is the Luton team. Oh, let's change Van de Ven. That's going to glitches. I'm still going to take Van de Ven. I don't know who this is. Sorry if that ruins your day. I'm sorry. There's the rest of the Luton team. Awesome. And then, it is title Bundesliga champions-elect Bayer Leverkusen at home to Hoffenheim. I did a few retweets, Harry, earlier on, blowing my own trumpet. We did it with you, with Kobe Mainu getting in that England squad. And I said it. I was like, he's not. Xabi Alonso has to be the next Real Madrid manager. When you see that crop of talent they're building, I know he's a Liverpool legend. I know he did some bits for Bayern, but he is a Real Madrid guy, really,
Spanish,
Yeah. I mean, when you see that team they're building, if you're winning the league with this team, take it to the Champions League, wait for that Real Madrid seat to come up, and it's almost been announced that that's what's going to happen. He's announced he's staying at Leverkusen, and they're going to be buzzing for this game now, aren't they? The players will be right hyped now.
100%. Yeah, mate. Honestly, this could be this is the fixture this weekend. I think big time.
I think it's a huge buy-in, isn't it? Like, I'm here, boys. We're doing this. Like
they could easily win 4 or 5-0 here, and Bayern might not. I know Bayern have looked pretty good recently though, but tough game. Like, if they drop points there, Leverkusen are just laughing again in there. And Hoffenheim are no mugs. They definitely got a few players that can play.
I just don't see a midfield here. And that's kind of like Xhaka on the ball all day, and then when these guys move into mid, this could be good. Like, normally I give Hoffenheim their cred, but I just don't see it's going to be blatant counter-attack. There's not going to be any.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't see a midfield here, really, that will be up to it. So I think it could be a good one. The clean sheet is maybe a wee bit more likely than maybe
I think so, yeah.
Hoffenheim would normally be,
They're always good for a goal, aren't they, Hoffenheim? But maybe not today.
So yeah, midfield is a matchup indicator thing as well. That's fortuitous. That's good to see. And then we've got Inter, who have been imperiously commanding their way to, they're basically going to be given the Scudetto in the next couple of weeks if they carry on the way they're going. They're at home to Empoli. I did mention one of the young players who's been playing in defence for them this season. He's unfortunately not got so rare cards. He's not in the team this week. Bastoni, Acerbi, and Pavard make up the back three. And then kind of Dumfries has kind of been rotating around. No Tejon, but it's Darmian that comes in there at the right back spot. DeMarco on the left, Barella, Calhanoglu, and Mickey Boy in the middle, and Turan. It's a full strength Inter team against Empoli, who have got Capril in the net. Back three probably comes to be a back five in reality. Yeah, it's probably going to be a solid Inter 2 or 3-0.
Yeah, I can't see them conceding. I really, really can't. Yeah, their midfielders could walk to a really nice score there. Calhanoglu maybe. Bastoni, really good score probably. Pavard. Goalie's the only doubt, isn't he, at 60%, I guess. But yeah. Looking
very good one, I think. Mkhitaryan's especially, Calhanoglu's, some of these guys could really create lots of chances in a game like this, and with one decisive get an 80,
DeMarco, watch out.
DeMarco,
100 this weekend. Yeah. Little assist. You can just see it coming.
Could be a DeMarco 100 night for sure.
Really could, couldn't it? Really, really could.
Do you have that same confidence on the Barca boys against Las Palmas? But
I don't know. It's a weird. I don't know. It's just a weird Barca team right now, isn't it? Really weird. Like, I don't know. Yamal's just basically carried them for the last couple of months, as far as any sort of attacking things go. I know Lewan's come back into form, but mate, I don't know. Obviously, you probably didn't watch that Wales game, but mate, Lewan, I think he's done. Like, actually, I know he's only playing for Poland there compared to Barca, but genuinely now, you would never know, like, he was or is, a world-class striker. There's no chance if you were just like a neutral and had never seen, who he is or whatever. Like, I couldn't believe how bad he was. But, can't judge him off one game. Of course, he's been pretty good for Barca recently. So, but yeah, mate, like Romeo, like Fermin, like they're missing big players. No Frankie, no Pedri. I don't know. It's a weird Barca team right now. They'll still probably get the job done. Don't get me wrong, but it's just really just like pieces thrown in from everywhere. The youth team, and it's been fun though to see that Kabassi come through and Yamal this season. That has helped Barca. They still have a really good crop of youngsters coming through, but injuries, Ferran, and it's just been a clusterfuck for them.
Las Palmas have got a few wee players themselves. No Araujo for this game, of course, at right back. He'll be missing this one. Marmol, Cardona, Valles, Kirian, Maxime Perron. Most of the main guys are here, aren't they? So I think, I don't know, Barca probably, I would fancy Barca to have a decent chance at a clean sheet in a game like this, to be honest with you, because
I agree.
I think they're going to get like 80% possession in this one, and the problem will be, do they score more than a goal or two, Barca? Probably. Right. Because Roque hasn't totally convinced Lewan, like you've mentioned there, and Felix is definitely in the middle ground of he could get a hat trick and make us all look stupid.
Easily, yeah.
But he might get subbed off at 60th minute for Ferran, who's back in training and will probably be on the bench. Could be effective later in the game as well. I think this is a great game for a Gundogan goal, personally.
Probably, yeah. It feels like he's going to have to, really step up here, right, as sort of captain or whatever, and really run that midfield alongside obviously a young Fermin, and Romeo's obviously quite experienced, but yeah, that feels like a Gundogan type of game, doesn't it? With
like be the leader, be Gundo,
Yeah, he'll step up. He's obviously really consistent, and always been a good servant every club he's been at, really.
Yeah. And one of the stories of Champion Europe, Stuttgart, they've got a great game here on paper. Now, the forward thing there really catches my eye.
It's weird, isn't it?
I think it's broken because they've got Jurasi and Undav up front, and it's just their data just can't compute how many goals they could get against Heidenheim.
Yeah. Off the charts, right?
Yeah, that's maybe what it is here. So maybe a wee bit underrated with that anomaly in the matrix, as it were. But strong Stuttgart team here, still riding high in the Bundesliga. Heidenheim are no mugs, of course. We do joke, but they will concede goals, but no joke, they are not. So Stuttgart in third on 56 points. Heidenheim find themselves currently 11th. 7 wins, 8 draws, 11 losses. Bang average, mid-table team. But 44 goals conceded definitely puts them in amongst the worst defences in the top half, if not the entire table. So when you see Stuttgart scoring 60 goals and being clearly one of the most high-scoring teams in the league, it's a good Stuttgart attack week, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, big time. This is, I mean,
Furyk as well.
Big derby game this is as well.
Oh, is it?
Apparently.
I didn't know that. If it's a derby, then maybe that's why the Matrix is broken, because it could be.
Yeah, potentially.
They could be going for it.
Considering this is for Heidenheim's first time back in the Bundesliga, I'm going to say. They've given a pretty good account of themselves, to be mid-table and safe and whatever. But yeah, this Stuttgart team has serious goals in it, doesn't it? So, they could come from anywhere. I know predominantly the 2 nines, but they, Mittelstadt has been unbelievable at left back. Stiller, Fulrich, Milot, like there's goals everywhere.
Someday in this team gets 3 decisors, don't they?
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't put it past
if the goals are there, one guy will magnet, we'll get a bunch of them.
Are here. Heidenheim, Stuttgart, there's no way there's not goals in this team and game, sorry.
Yeah. Of course, but yeah, I'm excited for it. And this is, I did the Premier League predictions on the channel earlier today, if anyone's caught them. And this game, to me, honestly, I can't believe this isn't top, but it kind of tells you everything about Chelsea's season, why it's not top. Chelsea at home at Burnley, this should be one of the easiest games to forecast this weekend.
Big time. But yeah,
You'd
for
think.
whatever reason, it's just not, is it? We just don't know what you're going to get with Chelsea. This could literally be 4-0, but it actually could be 1-0 Burnley as well. I don't think there's any in between. There really
Burnley are
isn't.
good for a mugging off at Stamford Bridge. They've done it under Sean Dyche, certainly, in the past. I know it's
Yeah.
a long time ago, but they're good for a mugging off at the Bridge.
Yeah, I don't know. I got a weird feeling about this. Like, it feels prime for a Chelsea smashing, doesn't it? But like, I don't know, mate. I really don't know. No Enzo. I think they're going to rest Enzo this week. I don't know if that matters too much. They've still got a good sort of base there with Gallagher and Caicedo, but Badiashile potentially being back is fun. Back fit, which is a bit of a blessing. Gusto's been great. I think Gusto could be a good play. Obviously Palmer, goes without saying.
Main man in this
Jackson,
team, isn't he? He's the guy you want.
He's flying, isn't he? And then Jackson at L15 or 43 for a little cat mode. I wouldn't put it past him getting a few goals if things go well for Chelsea. And he knows where the back of the net is. So I don't know. It's a weird one. Mudryk in the 10, funky, but maybe I don't know. It's a weird one. Honestly, I wouldn't like to call that game, even though the odds are crazy in favour of Chelsea. I don't know, mate. I got a weird feeling about Company.
Fair enough. Yeah, could be one of those funny ones for sure. And then Bologna. Oh, by the way, I don't want to spend too long on it because we are getting close to the deadline. We do need to get teams sorted shortly. But I was quite looking forward to having a wee excuse to talk about Bologna for a minute because they don't often come up in the matchups tab, and I've got the goalkeeper obviously. And they've been a really fun team for the neutral to watch and kind of see their progress or whatever. They're at home to bottom of the table because see when I was looking at this, right? See. Serie A, we do give it a bit of stick, right? It's not been one of the better leagues in the top 5, probably been 4th or 5th in the list, really. Mm-hmm. But see, when you look at the likes of Salernitana, and we've seen Empoli earlier on, and we've seen some of these, a lot of these Italian bottom teams are starting to get some, they've got some players in them, they've got a bit of threat. They're not total write-offs, And Salernitana being bottom of the table with some of these players really do embody that. But Bologna, no Xerxes, it's probably going to be Odegaard in attack here. But Lewis Ferguson and Xerxes have really kind of helped them kind of go from that average Serie A club to being a top Serie A club. So I think it kind of shows like this league there's not much that separates it. And if you get like a couple of players of real quality, it makes a big difference. But it's the early kickoff on April Fool's Day. I'm hoping Skorupski does the damage for us and brings in a big one.
Yeah, I genuinely think there's no way the Bologna scouting staff don't play Sorare. With the amount of boys they've got there from like funky Belgium leagues, and I don't know, there's just too many good SO5 scorers there for my liking to where there's no way they haven't been playing this game at some point. Bukema, obviously Salamaikers has been around for a while, of course, but Ferguson, Odegaard at AZ. There's just I don't know, too many for my liking there.
Yeah, definitely they're at it, aren't they?
Great team, so really funky team.
Good game for Bologna, and 3 points gets them closer to Juventus, who are playing Lazio this week. So you might think I'm joking when I say that, but they might drop points. And if Bologna are on 57 and Juventus are on 59, could you believe that? Thiago Motta, the hot favourite for the Barcelona job at the moment, former Barcelona, PSG, Inter Milan, you name it player. So yeah, riding high, up in 4th. By the way, it's surprising to see Roma that high in the table, considering how bad things were apparently under Mourinho. It wasn't that long ago he was there. But they've quite rescued themselves up in 5th there. But what do we have then? We've got Liverpool. This is a huge game because it's the early kickoff on Sunday, Harry. And you know what the big kickoff is on Sunday? It's Man City Arsenal. So this is a huge psychological game. Imagine Liverpool drop points. What do you think both teams go in? And also if Liverpool wins, what they need to do, So it's an interesting game in terms of the psychology of the league and the confidence of one team or another and all the rest of it. But really strong looking team. Szoboszlai, McAllister, Endo. It's probably as well balanced a midfield as you'll ever see from Liverpool these days, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the 3, isn't it? You probably want if they're all fit, 100%. And probably the 3 up front, if we're being honest, isn't it? So, Liverpool are looking good. No Trent, of course, and no Robbo, it looks like. So, defensively, if Brighton can get their wingers, in a position where, you've got Gomez one-on-one, and Bradley's really good, to be fair to him. But, there is a weakness there, I would say. Having to play Gomez at left back, even though, he's a good player, but he's not a left back, is he, obviously? So, I don't know. It's a weird one. Brighton, we know they've got goals in them from multiple places. But, yeah, I cannot see how Brighton don't concede a couple here. Just because I own both their goalkeepers, and I just know for a fact they're going to
They're
concede.
both conceding. Both
They're both,
goalkeepers concede.
You know what? You could put them both. You could put them both in goal for the full 90, and I think they'd still concede 3 or 4. one, yeah, just one either side of each other.
Right. Well, the Brighton team looks handy for sure, but I think this is, like, I'm with you. It should be very strong Liverpool attack, and that's all Liverpool really care about half the time, to be honest with you. They'll let Van Dijk and Konate defend 2v2, 1v1s, whatever they're going to do. So, yeah, it could be a huge one for the attack stack. Certainly the midfield cards could pop off with an 80-pluser. No two ways about it. This game is rated quite highly, and I do think that this could be a high-scoring match. Leipzig at home to Mainz. But part of the issue with Leipzig can be, just nailing the actual predicted team. So almost half an hour to the deadline. It should be as accurate as it gets. And we've got Sesko and Openda starting an attack with Olmo and Simons in support. It's pretty much ideal what you're after there. And in the midfield, it looks to be Schlager alongside either Seawald or Campbell. Back four basically picks itself when they're all fit and available. And Pete the Wall keeps his spot.
Simons is the boy, isn't he, obviously? And yeah, it feels like another potential 100 game from him, I think, if things go right as far as DAs go. Sometimes he doesn't even fucking need the DAs. He seems like he can just get like 40, 50 AA. What are they looking for? Sociedad.
Yeah, they're nowhere near, and that's quite surprising, actually, because the game's pretty good. Sociedad are away to Alaves. Now, I know Alaves don't concede a lot or whatever, but...
nowhere near it. That's weird.
Yeah, so like they've conceded 35 and 29, which is pretty lean. 13th for the table on 32 points. At home, are they particularly strong? No. Away from home, Sociedad, 4th in the table, which is probably particularly good. This is the Alaves team, which is handy enough. I like Samu, I like Blanco. There's a few guys here, but the Sociedad team is pretty damn good as well. And this should be, oh wow, by the way, this is a bit of a change. When was this updated? Wednesday? Yeah, I don't think this is in date. I think Becker starts this game. And I think Zakarian starts this game as well. He got decisive for Russia in the international break there. Back four, I think, picks itself here as well. But yeah, that's the team I think plays for Sociedad. And I think I think Sociedad could score 3 goals in this game. That's the way I look at it.
Strong front three, so yeah, I can't really disagree with you, to be honest.
And the secret Spanish I like to tune into. It says Turientes will start. Again, feel that Zakarian's going to start this over Turientes, but and everyone's got Galan to start over Tierney. I think Sociedad want to sign him permanently, so they're going to try and integrate him as best they can. So yeah, no Sociedad on the lineup there or on the rundown, but I thought I'd squeeze them in before we go to Der Klassiker, because Bayern versus Dortmund is going to be one of the best games to watch this weekend. No two ways about it. And again, I've heard lots of people with Bayern cards and some guys with Dortmund cards wanting to kind of skirt away from this fixture. But you want guys to be getting successful actions of the good stuff, tackles, balls into the box, shots on target, making saves, and both teams will be busy in this game, So you need to be brave. You need to pick the guy that you back. Who's going to win the game? Who's actually going to make the difference? Is it going to be Musiala? Is Kimmich, your right back, actually going to boss out? Because he can do that,
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I do agree with you in a lot of ways, actually, especially with like the Musiala. I think, yeah, it feels like he's just in a groove right now where he's just a bit unstoppable. And yeah, I could really see him still, like, if you got Wirtz or Musiala this weekend and you're contemplating between both, obviously you have to still pick Wirtz because of the fixture, right? But I still don't think this means that a Musiala doesn't do well this weekend. I'm not just singling him out. There's obviously other Bayern players that could score well. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be a wicked game. I don't know if I want to have too much skin in the game as far as players on Sorare. But there will be good scores. I just don't know where they'll be, to be honest. Like Kane probably scores a goal, might get an assist as well if he's like things like that will happen. Do we see hundreds in this game? I'd like to think not, but you just never know. I would, gun to my head, I say there's no hundreds in that game. That doesn't mean there's not 90s. It doesn't mean there's not 80s, which is still fine. But I'd be surprised if we see hundreds in that game. I really would.
Big call from Harry Trades. No hundreds in the Der Klassiker. With it got Real Madrid. I think we'll finish with Villa because that's a derby, right? And then we'll go get lineups done, right? So we'll get Real Madrid at home to Athletic Club. Real Madrid, top of the table, kind of in cruise control. Everything's kind of going Real Madrid's way, as it seems at the moment. Cruise control is back in business. He signed a new contract. He's in at the start. He's back in the Germany team as well. He's living his best life again all of a sudden. The defence looks pretty patchworky, but I must admit, but everything else, the midfield really. The midfield looks top, like could be one of the best ever you've seen. Like, and everything else, Rodrigo's fine, but Brahim Diaz and the rest of that defence, it's a wee bit bargain basement, isn't it? A wee bit not bargain basement, but suboptimal. Not Real Madrid.
No, but we know they've been suffering from injuries and whatever, and Bellingham being back though is massive, right? That's the one. He hasn't been playing the last few league games, and yeah, I think that changes things, big time.
Yeah. It looks like Simon is 50-50 for this game as well. Been a lot of goalkeeper action. We're just looking at Bayern Munich. Actually, no Neuer, no Kobel. Both teams going into that game with second goalkeepers. Ulrich, of course, on an L15-0. In Athletic Club, both the Williams brothers will play. Sanchez back in town. But yeah, Unai Simon, another goalkeeper that is dicey this weekend. And then...
Oh, yeah, that's not ideal, is it?
No. And then the final one I said we would peek at is a derby match between Villa and Wolves. So this is the Villa expected team updated this morning at dawn, by the way. So somebody was at training at Villa Park, I think, the team for us. Dina's in to start now. I think it was Moreno, but Dina now. Ramsey is still in to play now, which is cool. And then Wolves have got Fraser at 60%, Cunha downgraded, and Santi Bueno is on to play now. So that's fun for me. Maybe not use one or the other or whatever, but yeah, definitely get teams to fly around. Would it really surprise anyone if Bayern just went and beat Dortmund 3-0? Yeah, that has kind of happened. We've seen that before where you think, Dortmund are actually on a par with Bayern, and then Bayern go, nah. But this is Thomas Tuchel's Bayern. So,
right, yeah.
And is Eric Dyer still in the squad? I think he was, wasn't he? So, and Ulrich's in goal. So, Jadon Sancho's in town. Yaldi.
He's looking sharp, to be fair.
Harry, show us your teams before the people lose their mind.
Oh my God, I don't even have my teams right now. I do have them, but I am in a bit of a situation where I might need to change a few things around. That's the midweek. So Premier League teams in season Division 2 I'm in. I'm gonna just guess the Brighton goalkeeper situation basically and hedge myself in Classic. It's all I can really do with obviously Sam Johnstone getting injured, which has just really halted me. Champion season, Las Palmas defensive stack probably is going to get dismantled, but the Liverpool boys and Alias Garcia in there. This is probably my best lineup, I would say. The Porto and Luciano Acosta mix. Obviously all away, which is not ideal, but I'm throwing that into Div 1 in-season challenger. Contenders, we've got the Reika boys with Idrissi as a skipper, which should be pretty fun in Div 1. We've got a classic team here in a bit of a random mix of players, but I'm pretty excited about that. A couple of Monday fixtures. We've got the Road to Glory team on the right there in season, and then under 23s, I'm playing all three scarcities. I've thrown in Sulemana as skipper because we know he's fit and playing, so that'll be pretty fun. Road to Glory on the right, and then under 23 Super Rare on the left. Back in Santi away to Inter Miami might be a big call, but we're doing it. And then MLS Special Weekly, I did have Acosta in here, but I've decided to switch him for Artua and made this team a little bit weaker. But Brady away to Atlanta obviously is not ideal, so that team might just be dead anyway. So I'm kind of just trying to drag Acosta's good score hopefully out of that and into Challenger maybe. I am playing All-Star. I'm actually playing all my best Super Rares in All-Star Super Rare this weekend. Yeah, I'm avoiding the regions like Challenger / Contender because I don't have a good enough team in either or, if that makes sense. So I'm having to mix both to make an All-Star team is what I'm going with. 2 Monday night fixtures. Dynamo Moscow played today actually for me. All-Star Rare, I know Jesus is a bit of a doubt, but I'm throwing him in here as one of my last lineups basically. So I'm prioritizing it at Super Rare, but not prioritizing at Rare. I am prioritizing the Cap 240 still. Gone pretty strong at Super Rare level. 220 is a bit of a throwaway because I don't think Bologna plays. 270 is relatively strong-ish. Again, not really prioritize that. I did prioritize under 23. Cap 240 Rare, sorry. I'm a little bit worried that Nico's dropped to a 70% on Sharper, so I'm a little bit skeptical there, but I'm probably still going to back it. 240 for the Road to Glory. And then that is the extent of my teams, to be fair. The only thing I was kind of worried about is the Nico situation, because apparently he was 75% and now he's 70%, and I know it's only 5%, but sometimes that does play with your mind, as you probably know. So but I don't really have another defender that I can throw in, I think. I don't think, sorry. So that makes it a little bit tricky for me. But that is the extent of my teams, lads. I am avoiding the regions at Super A level anyway this weekend, or competitions, whatever, Contender and Chal. I just don't think, like, I'm in the fact that you don't have to play a team to not get relegated is the reason I'm doing that. If that wasn't the case, I'd obviously probably put teams in and try it. But the fact that that isn't a thing means that I'm allowed to just not play them. And I think going into All-Star might be the play for me this weekend, just as the fixtures fall for the Super As. So I'm excited for it. I'm buzzing for it. I'm obviously still playing those regions at rare level, and for me this weekend is like my money teams are my rares in a way, and then my super rares are like trying to win me a card type of thing. That's kind of the balance I've struck this weekend specifically, and obviously that'll change week to week, but that's how it's fallen this weekend. But it's been fun. I've enjoyed building lineups this weekend. I really have.
Well, it's about to get turned upside down a wee bit for me, because this is how I had my super rares laid out. So with I had Cunha in, so I thought it was kind of 50-50, and I thought Werner was on the bench and all the rest of it, and I've got Werner in now, and I think everyone else is confirmed as good and ready to go. Otherwise, Saganikov I feel a bit more confident in now as well. But when I went to alter this around, the first thing to do is put Werner at home at Luton and ahead of Oyarzabal. Then that leaves me with 4 in-seasons, and then that made me think, maybe I should get an out-of-season one. But this is still my best 5, so I'm not actually going to change it. So I don't want to get another money team out anywhere else, so I don't think that actually serves me any good. And then I would just probably slide Oyarzabal in on top of Saganikov, and then I've got a bit of if I had Brais Mendes in here, sadly I don't have Brais, I don't have McGinn, missing Yanghel as well, missing quite a few midfielders. So Christie comes in for a debut for me. I only traded him in this week. I do have Oriol Romeu, who's playing for Barca, and maybe one or two other guys, but I think Christie is Bournemouth are at home at Everton. If he's going to get a peak game like that, and so I'm kind of going with him anyway with Oyarzabal, and I'll captain Oyarzabal since he's on penalties. Manada's got a good game, and so they're my top 2 teams. The quick shuffle around. I don't know if I will change that again. I'm just going to hit the refresh button because the top graphic there takes a while to update. But Angelino want to start for Roma this weekend away to Lecce. Should be a good game for him. No Pellegrini as well, so if he does get some, no Dybala either, so he could get some sets in that game as well, which could be good fun. Goretzka and Der Klassiker is my captain. Aliesh, we all know what he's about, and then Werner, if he's starting, then he can maybe do some damage. But I fancy that to be a good one to go and try and win me a card. And then I've got my second classic team I went for my third super rare team I went for in classic to try and get that promoted into Division 1. And I've went with mainly the Girona guys, but I went with Cunha. But now I've got Saganikov to fly in here, which kind of rounds that out a bit nicer. With Llorente, who's on to start for Atletico away to Villarreal, which isn't a great game, but he's on to play in a kind of attacking position in a kind of 4-2-4 kind of shape. They're looking to try and play Depay, Morata and Griezmann, and what that means is they're going to play Griezmann kind of in that wide midfield role, and they'll mirror that with Llorente doing the same thing in attack support. So could be good for Llorente, but we'll put him in here a wee bit on low risk. I've called this a street team. This is just about the vibes, the Girona kind of guys. Let's see if they can go and smash it. And then Llorente is a bit more decisive capable than like a Martin, for example, who I've still got. And I'm going to keep the Sly Bar Stewards in League 3. I need to double check if Quattro is on to play with Play Sharper. He's on with my little Italian source I like. But Play Sharper says he won't play. So the one I like is DiMarzio. I don't know if any of you follow him on Twitter. Or I say him. I don't know if it's a him. But it feels like a him. 2 seconds. The one I follow is DiMarzio, and he's got a website called Pazia de Fanta. He's got Quattro into play. Let me just double check it. Yeah, he's got Quattro into play. So I'm going to stick with Quattro. And I'm going to go for a wee bit of money in that D3. I'm going to try and get a bit of whale shelter an in-season champ for the money. See if we can do any business for that. Maybe it gets promoted, whatever. We're not too bored. But yeah, I think that's an easy shuffle around. Galan's on to start. Doesn't play 90 minutes because Tierney will get some minutes from him. But everything else is kind of fine in that team, I think. And then, yeah, Kutos, Saganikov. That's all fine as well. I quite like that. But what it gives me now is, so when I look at Contender, because we know the Celtic teams now, okay, I'm quite happy with choice one. I've still got Kyogo in my best team with double fullback, Johnson and Taylor. And then Captain O'Reilly plays in team one and in team two. Going with scales, only scales I've got, and then double attacker in this one, in case Celtic do get a couple of decisives and spread them around. I'm actually tempted to maybe put this Maeda into team number one and maybe de-risk Kyogo, because I do think Maeda is the most likely to get 90 minutes in this game. So he's got a great record against Livy as well. So I think I might actually change my Maeda and Kyogo kind of jiggeries around. I do think Kyogo could get a few decisives in this one. No, actually, I'm going to leave it the way it is. I'm not going to... Because I think Kyogo is the most likely to score goals. Maeda might not get the assists, might not get the goals, but I think Kyogo's the most central in a game like this, might do the business. But team three, we've got it confirmed that McGregor's not trained. I think Hatate is going to feature quite strongly in this game. So I had the forward in there as a wee differential. But what I'm tempted to do, because I don't think Vickers is going to get 90 minutes, is I'm kind of tempted... I know he'll play probably, I'm kind of tempted to either put into this, Harry, let me know what you think, either my super rare defender Hatate card, or maybe my super rare scales that I've put into a dead team anyway, rather than play Vickers, who will score good, but maybe plays 45, maybe plays 65, maybe plays 80, doesn't play 90, you know.
Why aren't you playing? Is Scales injured, is he?
No, Scales is fine. But his cap is 73, and I don't have anything else for Celtic other than cap and All-Star. I'm not playing All-Star because McGregor's not playing, so no unique mid.
Right. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Real defender, Scales defender, or Vickers is the kind of...
We don't even think he starts, do we?
Who?
Hatate.
I think he does. But we could go Scales to be super safe. I could just think Scales, 90, lock him in, and then Vickers, I don't know, I think that's maybe the play. Go the Scales super in here. Maybe. Or it's a Hatate defender, and then play it. No, yeah, I'm probably quite happy with that, just to de-risk it a little bit, because I would hate for Vickers to come off injured or something. I think we've got confirmation he will play, but I've got a wee bit of the fear on it, and when I see that Scales is a bit loose, I don't mind maybe sliding that in. I've got a couple of fun options for my extra man in the last team here, whether it be somebody like a Lennon Miller, a Kwon, a Yang even, who probably features quite well from the bench. But I'm going to stick with Hatate, the forward card, because I think even from the bench, the forward card is better protected than the other positions, you know, in terms of...
Yeah, fair. That makes sense.
Can come off the bench and scoop some AA a bit easier, perhaps. But yeah, I think I will just go Scales. I'll slide that super in there just to buff that third team out. Double Scales. And yeah, I feel a wee bit better about that. So that's cool. That's the Contenders kind of updated. I don't think All-Star really changes. I've got threes and goals, your man in defence, a midfield of Moutinho and Wirtz with Giakoumakis in attack. And then with the cat modes, the 220, I've gone with Riquelme because I don't have any. So I could play, let me ask you this, Harry. Riquelme is going to feature on the bench, right? But will come off the bench and play in an attacking midfield role for Atletico Madrid away to Villarreal. Or play sharper, think, or El Romeo starts. The Spanish source does not agree with that. And if he starts for Barca, like he could get 52 or something like that, 48. What would you go for if he starts for Barca?
Probably Romeo.
You'd go Romeo?
I think so, yeah. I think he plays. Barca are really, really depleted right now. I struggle to see how he doesn't play personally, but
interesting. So you would go Romeo? Oh, don't worry about Yang. That's basically the shout. Yeah, so as I said, my wee Spanish thing thinks Sergio Roberto is way more likely to play and play sharper. If I can share that, has Romeo at 70% and Sergio at 30%. Interesting. I don't know. I wasn't as confident on Romeo. Would you go with that for that team?
I mean, who else can Barca really play?
Sergio Roberto.
I don't know. I don't know. I think Romeo starts personally, but I get why there's not a clear option, but yeah.
You go with me. I'm going to go Riquelme. I'm going Riquelme. I can't help myself. And then cap 240 rare looks like this. It's bang on 240. If Marshall doesn't concede 3 against Rangers, this could win the division. I've got Moussa Diaby in attack. I've got Captain Gold in midfield with Santirod. And then Jokey Anderson in defence on a 44 or something as well. And in cap 220, Captain Depay leads Angelino, Mikey Johnson, and Arsene Zakarian, who I fancy to start into battle, which could be good. And then add a 220 SR about to run out with a DNP keeper that had scales in it, which now doesn't have scales in it. So I'm probably still going to throw this out as a little DNP keeper shout, just in case it gets lucky, So we've got Ayer at home at Man United, big players in big games. Well, let's hope for that from him. End the series starting against Getafe. Ivan Martin will start against Betis, and then Cunha's going to come off the bench for Wolves probably. Tierney will come off the bench for Sociedad, and then outside of that, I don't think there is any other. Unal from the bench against Everton. Barena Shea, he was on his start actually. So, and we have that Hatate defender card. Ooh. So do we take Barena Shea, who plays sharper? No, actually, let's just go Hatate. Screw play sharper. Let's captain Hatate in case he plays. That'll be boss. There we go. That's fun. I like that. So I do have a spare Carter Vickers, actually. Could that help a team out somewhere? He's quite expensive, isn't he? We're at 12 minutes to the deadline. Yeah, this was kind of bang on cap. So that's fine. We'll just leave that as it was. And yeah, just need to refresh the UI. It doesn't really update the top line here that great.
It's annoying, isn't it? Yeah, you can't, if you update your players, like it won't show unless you...
I've not done any training, Harry.
Haven't you? Get him in there.
Any use done training?
I just did mine then.
Sean John's playing. Sean John might play. Someone just said that. So let me get...
He said it's 50-50.
Mm-hmm. Can I get a 270 rare out? Yeah, that's all that would
Black McBride just said.
Yeah.
Yang tightness.
It's 270 limited. I don't want that. 270 rare. Oh, that's limited again. I'm clicking on the blooming rare card. There we go. So Sean John, we reckon, gets a game. We've got Vickers, brilliant. We've got Was, we've got No McGregor. We've got Hatate midfielders. So let's go get an Hatate mid. Rio Hatate. Rio Hatate. There we go. 8.5% one. We'll take that. We've got Fekir, who could do well. We've got Haksabanovic, who's playing the first game. That could be sneaky. Yeah, let's play Haksabanovic because we know he's starting. And that leaves us with 77. We can pick anyone we want. We've got Amundsen, we've got Frimpong, we've got Was, who's away at Copenhagen. The last 3 times Was has played Copenhagen, he's scored like 38 or 58. All AA, no decisives. And yeah, the 38, I think he got bookings and stuff like that, and he was giving away fouls. Another game he didn't. So I don't know what I think about that. And otherwise, is there any other standouts? Who would you throw into this, Harry? Last man, last minute. Lennon Miller, Konrad Leimer, starting for Bayern.
I'd probably go Miller from what I'm seeing there.
Wee Lennon Miller? Over Frimmers, over Was, over Malte Amundsen.
No, Amundsen, surely.
You like Amundsen away to Nashville?
Yeah.
Double defence, love that. Big XP. Captain Hatate, because that's how we roll. Or do we Captain Haxa with a double game week? Nah, we'll Captain Hatate. Cool. And Sean John's 50-50. So that team's nothing but nothing. And we've got 9 minutes to get training done. You'll get to say something, Harry, there before I ran over you. Sorry.
I can't remember what I was going to say, but I did see something in the chat saying that Sergio Roberto would be competing for Furman for the 8th position, not Romeo. So I don't see how Romeo doesn't start, personally. Just to go back.
So do we think... So, yeah, okay. I don't mind revisiting that then, if that's the case. So Romeo, do we think he outscores Riquelme from the bench?
Yeah. Well,
have a look at his SD for me, Harry, while I plug these teams in, because I'm not as convinced having looked at his SD.
Romeo?
Yeah. Like, good games at home when he's played for Barca. Like, is it better than an attacking gang like Riquelme from the bench? That's my dilemma.
Barca, I mean, he's had assists before for them, but yeah, I mean, he's probably capping out at like 25 AA, I would say. Romeo.
Think he gets as much as that?
Well, that's best case. This is that doesn't mean to say he's gonna get it, but that would be best case for me, unless he gets an assist or something. Yeah, sorry, Joel says he'll get 15 AA. That's kind of what I'm in.
Let's go get it then. I'll go and stick him in then after I do this training team for that. Okay, I was maybe a wee bit more pessimistic on it, but I've got Santi Bueno playing, nowhere to play him, but let's get the XP up in training. There's Yang Hill, he needs some XP. Who else needs some XP? XP, get your XP. Level 20's been filtered. Get your XP. Who's after it before we can just... there we go. Baron Shea, he's on to play. I'm kind of gutted I don't get Baron Shea into a team this week. Tierney put him in as well. There we go. Sorted. Let's do it, guys. Let's put Romeo in over Riquelme if we think he's kind of decent for that AA. If you've all checked it out, then I'll bow to the community on this one. I'm happy to do so, of course. But yeah, we'll slide in wee Romeo, who cost me next to nothing, by the way. And if he does help me smash the 60 quid, I'm not going to go for the 320. I've retired that target. Where's my training teams? Went there. Then cool. We're 7 minutes to the deadline. I'm scrambling in the last of my training teams, guys. Let us know in the chats, by the way, guys. We've broke over 100 likes, so thanks very much to all you that have been here throughout the chat today. But let us know, have you had any deadline drama? Have we saved you? Have we killed you somehow? Let us know what you're up to this game week. Have you reprioritized? What are you prioritizing? Are you going with the new? Are you going against the grain? Let us know.
Big weekend, Quinny. Big weekend.
It is. Some crazy bugger at the beginning was saying it's the biggest. It's everything's new. The opportunities are fresh, you know. No one knows who's playing where. No one knows how good a team needs to be. No one knows what a good score looks like.
Question then: does Sorare break this weekend?
Ooh, what does break mean? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
A bad thing. meaning like, you know, being able to see your scores and stuff. I know we've got Sorare data, but I've got a funny feeling that, I don't know, Sorare itself might just not be able to handle all this new stuff. I hope it does, but
perhaps. I hope it doesn't break. Yeah, I think it'll be quite fine. So it'll just be what I think. Sorare data is still going to be where you're having your mid-game week activity, you know, checking scores and all that. They have made some nice differences, and I suppose it will be interesting competition to see how they've done that in the reformat. But I do think Sorare data have got a bit of a stranglehold on where my attention is live game week.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, Sorare have done a better job, haven't they? You know, over the last few years of being able, like, wanting to check their website rather than Sorare data's. But yeah, I mean, you can't really compete with Sorare data, can you? Let's be honest.
Nah, not at this stage, I don't think. Sorare data are running the show until they make any more glitches and mistakes.
Yeah.
Who do I want to get some XP into in defence here? Who do we have? Martins, let's just get him up. Sorry, guys, I know this probably isn't terribly exciting for you, but thanks for bearing with me as I just scramble some training in for some of these guys. Some of these guys that just need to get their act together, get some XP up, so that when they do perform, when they are selected for FC Barcelona and in the classic mode, they are ready, willing, and able to perform and ultimately deliver the goods. You know, so yeah, we've got a Hey Lad shout. Very good chance to make it next week as a result of missing this week. Yeah, caught that in the chat a little bit. He's kind of sitting it out down to the surface, which is fine. Let's maybe put in the Rocky in case we want him. Kwan's in season. We might need him in a week or two. Danny Masovsky, Abada. Let's get him up. We might need him over the summer. And probably I could say the same for JFR. It's an easy pick. Is that the last training team? It is. Cool. So training teams are all locked in. Awesome. I feel set. So let's have a quick recap, guys. Let me know if I've made any blunders or errors or 4 in seasons. I don't know if that's a waste or not. I wouldn't play a second in season team anyway, which I could just by putting one of these mids in for Christie. That would become an in-season team, but I don't want that to be an in-season team. I want one good in-season team, 2 card teams this week. Bit of the Girona action, bit of La Liga action here with the street team. Similar kind of Champ Euro vibes here. And then, yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Goretzka, Quatra, I'm backing. I'm quite happy to do so. Don't think I go classic. I could de-risk that and pick like an Angelino in there as rare and maybe go classic. But I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it in season. I back the big man. And he's against AC Milan as well, Quatra. So I think he's going to break a lot of the hearts of AC Milan stacks out there. He's going to get a goal. He's going to make a last man tackle. He's going to get 40 AA, winning all his duels and tackles and stuff like that. And the AC Milan stacks on the leaderboard will be crying at the feet of Lucas Martinez Quatra.
Oh, big weekend, Quinny.
the biggest. I'm not putting any teams in Challenger. I'm patching that. The American cards are getting used for 240s and All-Stars and such.
Okay.
Celtic, yeah. I'm happy with what we're doing here. Yeah, I think we're set. Yeah, I think we're set. I've used both Kyogos, I've used both Dysons, so I'm just thinking if I've missed one out. I've got my Hitate attacker in here with Tanaka mid. The alternative to that would be playing another Hitate mid card, and then it would allow me to get another Celtic player in, which I don't care about. So yeah, Tanaka's in anyway. So that's cool. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. All-Star Rare is buff. Cap 240. Base minimum threshold for Super Rare. 220 is a DNP keeper team, so who cares how well it does? Cross our fingers and toes it does something. 270 is a last-minute punt on Sean John. 240, we're going mid-target. We're hoping Marshall doesn't concede free at Ibrox. And then a cap 220, I think, is actually pretty handy here, especially if Zaki does get the start, which I'm using. I'm going with my hunch on Zaki. I'm going with my hunch on Quattro and Tatate. Kind of had them lined up before some of the news came to us. And I've still got that 240 limited team, it seems, as well. So that's fine. Academy teams are there. Sorry for rambling, but I just had to get my wee ducks in a row there, Harry. Can you show us the final versions of what you're running 2 minutes to the deadline?
Yeah, I only made one change, to be fair, which was I've de-risked Nico Williams from 240. I'm going with the Aberdeen defensive stack in 240 now. But yeah, not much has really changed. I'm really excited for that Cap 240 Super Rare with Florentino Luis playing today, as is Santiago Ramos Mingo. I've played Nico Williams Super in 240 though, Captain Badia Shield. But yeah, I think I'm pretty set. There's not too much I've chopped and changed, apart from knowing that Suleiman is going to play now in the next minute or so. So I'm buzzing for that. Hopefully, he can, sort of get back to good SO5 scoring ways, and we're just back, lads. This is it. Well, we're not back. This is new. Everything's brand new. Weaselmon. I'm trusting the Aberdeen boys this weekend. You've got it.
That's it. Excellent. 1 minute to go, guys. I did actually hope to maybe use this a little bit more, but there's a little spreadsheet going around keeping on top of the head counts and the effective reward, the card payout, the box payout, and everything else in between. Because the division head count is the only thing that's not too easy to see at a glance on site. So reward, card cash, reward with boxes. These are the two columns here to pay attention to. The redder it is, the worse. The greener it is, the better. The most favourable divisions we seem to have are Classic, Limited, Premier League. Actually, very, very strong reward chances really across the board there at Limited level, Classic. And Classic Rare as well, pretty chunky. And Classic Super Rare, very generous kind of head count to pay out percentage-wise there on the board. Champion in season, not as good. Champ in season, Limited, Rare and Super Rare, not as good. I think Premier League is segregated there against Champion, looks way, way better. If we look at the Rare D1 and 2 is what I kind of looked at for Classic. We've got, where's the actual head counts here? Sorry. So we've got 943 entrants in D1. This is updated every 30 minutes, so it should be relatively recent enough. Around 1,000 there. 36 guaranteed places paid out. Reward with boxes 180. So we're looking at 20% of people will get something. 3%, 4% are guaranteed to get a card or whatever in D1 this is. In D2, the percentages are slightly higher. This is Champion Classic Rare. In Challenger Classic Rare D1, we're looking at a 4.5% chance at 48 card rewards for 225 entrants. 1,044 entrants. There's 225 spaces with boxes, which gets that to a total clip of just over 20%. We'll pick up something. Mm-hmm. And D2 is 5% guaranteed reward, 25% for a box. So that's not too bad. And then if we look at Contender Classic Rare D1, we're looking at a 4% chance. That's the lowest we've seen of them all so far. 47 guaranteed rewards, 1,100 entries. And in D2, there's 2,500 entries for 112 guaranteed rewards, 4.3% guaranteed win percentage. And these, again, are around the 20% mark for box wins, but they're definitely the lower kind of scale of it. So Contender, very much harder than Challenger. Challenger, a little bit harder than Champion. And Premier League looks to be kind of the easiest on the head count. But what that doesn't tell us, Harry, is how good are the teams, how high are the scores, and who made good decisions with their lineups. How do you feel now that we're into the game week, Harry?
I'm just relieved it's all done now. I don't need to chop and change anything, and yeah, we can just enjoy it, to be honest. And like, from a selfish point of view, I like, being able to win in the midweek does really put less pressure on me on the weekend. I've mentioned that before. But yeah, no, I'm buzzing for it, to be fair. I'm not expecting the world this weekend. I'm really not. I think there'll be growing pains, and for my teams and whatever, and for everyone's teams in certain ways. But yeah, no, it's just it'll be fun, mate, just to see how the new landscapes look, for the next couple of days, and yeah, let's see what it brings, mate. I'm buzzing for it. I really am.
Excellent. Yeah, well, good luck to you, mate. Wish me luck as well. Everyone that's joined the stream, fist bump to you all. Good luck for this weekend. I hope you had a good one. Stay out of trouble, and we will catch you on the next one.
Satara.